Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing this week? Episode number 17 of Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm your host, Sean Holko, alongside my guys, Kevin Dent, Garry Singh. Javon Toddy is on his way. We got another episode for you guys this week, and this is going to be an NBA heavy episode of Stats Over Politics. But first, let's get to the fellas. Garry, how we doing, my bro?
What's up? What's up? What's happening with the guys? Chilling. Another day, another dollar. Let's get it. Come on.
What's up, Kev?
Man, it's a sad day, man. Everyone knows I'm a big Braun guy. Hate to see him go down, man. We'll get into it later, but it's a sad day. But besides that, man, my day's been really good. Got hit with a snowstorm this weekend, so that was cool to have Blue get his first time in the snow. So that was fun, but can't look forward to the rest of the week after the Braun news.
Yeah, you know, it's some unfortunate news, especially for those of you, including myself, who have LeBron James on some of your fantasy teams as the fantasy championships now approach. Luckily, I got a 2-week bye, so maybe I'll only miss a little bit of LeBron, but we shall see. We'll get into that. But gentlemen, the Sacramento Kings returned from the All-Star break this past week on Thursday. They trailed 19-4 against a Trailblazers team without Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant, but they ultimately ended up smacking the Blazers. Then next night they go to LA. They beat the Clippers 176-175 in double overtime, and then they finish off the week that was for us, and they get a win in OKC yesterday in G-Man's 3,000th game that he has broadcast. So the Sacramento Kings go 3-0 since the All-Star break, and I'm very excited. It's starting to feel like they are for really real, even though I'm the only one who said they wouldn't get a top 6 seed last week, but I'm excited. Garry, I'm going to start things off with you because I think you were the most optimistic among all of us. What did you think of the Kings' last 3 games?
I mean, what can you say? It don't matter. I don't really care who's playing. Like, fuck it. We don't care who's playing. F word out there. We don't care who's on the other team. We're just going to come in and earn our respect each game by each game. Obviously, we're going to start with a negative a little bit about the Clippers game. It's 175 points scored. I don't know how we could look at that as a crazy good game, bad game, but obviously we know we can't allow that. But if you actually watch the game, like I said, a lot of the shots were tough. Kawhi was cooking in the third quarter, and when Kawhi's doing that, all Kawhi things, there's really not much you could do. Which any player nowadays, if they're cooking it in the zone, good luck trying to guard them. So you just kind of like last night with Dame, you kind of just like gotta guard everyone else and pray for a miss, really pray for a miss and make it tough as possible. But Busters to say, Sean, is optimistic for the Kings. We're 3-0. We're looking good right now. Looked at the standings right now. We're sitting in a two-game comfortable lead right now in the standings. And I know I predicted 3, and that 3 predictions looking pretty good right now. And you know what? A lot of us happy that our team is taking every game as serious as we are. You know, like Kev already hinted, LeBron James and them. LeBron might be out. Players are still sitting out and things of that nature. And you know what? We really flipped the switch in All-Star break. And like we said, and you know what? We're heading in the right direction. And no one's counting. Everyone's counting us out. Simple as that. I don't know if you guys all watch primetime television with ESPN and Fox and all things of that nature. Every time they mention all the threats, they mention everyone. They go from Grizzlies, Nuggets, skip the Kings, go to the Suns. They go to like 10 different teams before like a little head nod. Kings are doing good, pretty solid, tough to beat. We'll see, which is respect. Okay, we got to prove it when it needs to be proven in the playoffs. We're going to see what happens. But like right now, we're making noise. We're doing things that we should be doing, beating the teams we should be. If you're not playing your best players, we're beating you. Simple as that. You're not going to beat us. And we're coming out and we're proving every day. Obviously, our biggest thing is going to be defense, and we're going to have to keep preaching that because that someday is going to have to click very, very soon here. Because if we don't play no defense in the playoffs, good luck. We're getting a first-round exit. So that's the harsh truth about it. And I think everyone knows that. So
the thing that's most disappointing to me about the LeBron news, aside from just the fact that one of the greatest of all time is injured late in his career, is the fact that ever since that 27-point comeback by the Lakers yesterday against the Dallas Mavericks, all of the Lakers fans are starting to get confident. They're starting to say, and even according to Brian Windhorst, the Lakers are trying to position themselves for the 6th seed because they want the Kings in the 3rd seed, because apparently the Kings are very inexperienced, true, but the Lakers want them. And the thing that sucks the most about the LeBron injury potentially is that we won't get to see that in the first round. And so Now, Kevin, I was just wondering in regards to Friday night's game against the Clippers. To my memory, I mean, we're all in our mid-20s, but to my memory, that might be the best regular season game I've ever watched in my entire life. Like I had my friends Jordan and Anthony trying to go out to bars in Roseville after the game, and I told them, I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this Clippers game, and then around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm going to roll out. I'll see you guys soon. Then the game ends, okay, overtime, 10:30. Overtime number 2, 11 o'clock.
Better and better.
I refused to go anywhere because the game was that good. And so, in your opinion, Kevin, was that the best regular season game you've ever watched in the NBA?
It has to be. Just, it kept you in from the start to finish. It looked bad for us in the beginning. We were able to come back and fight it out. Like Garry mentioned, Kawhi came out there and looking like he had a Raptors jersey on in the finals. So he was coming out there with a point to prove, man. But to see the Kings rally back, and this was really the game. When you would have first told me Malik Monk was coming to be a Sacramento King, this was the perfect game. I'm imagining him, De'Aaron Fox throwing lobs to each other. It's the Kentucky reunion everyone's been wanting for. But from a Kings perspective, you can't say this wasn't the best game ever, regular season game. There's a lot of franchise records broken in this game. 176 for points, 88 paint points, 43 points off of turnovers, 42 fast break
There were
points.
so many things broken.
Dude, so many points, so many things going. And it was good to see, Paul George get back going. You got the Clippers there. Everything you say about the Clippers is their health. You see their two guys out there. And just to, I know we're talking about the Kings right now, but just to, toot the Clippers horn, man, that depth is insane. And I know me and Garry went back and forth and, it's too much depth. But shit, man, they look good, man. It's hard to say the Clippers don't look good with this depth. And then shout out to my Dookie Plumlee, man, going out there and holding it down. I have to show him my Duke love.
And also Malik Monk with a career high 45 points in that game. De'Aaron Fox with 42 points. And so Malik Monk, who Jaevon has been calling a monster for years and years and years. And I disputed that word monster. He's starting to look like a monster.
He's been a monster, bro.
I mean, when I think of the whole argument between me and Jaevon for the whole, like the verbiage of it was, when I think of a monster, I think of like a Giannis, a LeBron, like on that absolute top tier.
Kevin knows real quick.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what do you guys think he got that wiggle you can't even teach, Kev. As a hooper, that wiggle he just got. I just feel like you kind of be like, you just got it. Like, you know what I'm saying, Shaun? Like that wiggle when he with the ball, like you can't really teach those type of little movements that like you could teach your small little things, like elbow in, like, some things about dribbling and passing about basketball, but some things just God given, like you said, LeBron, Giannis, that type of monster. His monster is like he got that wiggle that you can't even teach. So like out of nowhere, just cramming it on a fast break out of nowhere, bro. I think he's gonna go for a layup. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that I think that the Monk's really gonna show that he should be a 6th man of the year.
There was only one other game in NBA history where both teams scored over 170 points in the same game. You got the Kings and Clippers from Saturday night, and then also the Pistons and Nuggets from 1983, a game that went to triple overtime and finished 186-184. So lots of records set. And so I want to get to, aside from the Kings, because this has been an amazing year, but I want to get to a guy who deserves recognition for what he's been doing for over 30 years. And that's Garry Gerald, the G-Man, the Kings radio announcer, because he got the DPOG chain, the Defensive Player of the Game chain yesterday for the Kings win against the Thunder. And he did that because, Garry, he called his 3,000th game for the Kings. And I have listened to G-Man growing up my entire life, growing up in Sacramento, and he's such a treasure. And I'm just so grateful to have him and to have him still calling games. And I've gotten a chance to meet him and chat with him a couple times. And so I just want to also just shout out the G-Man because he's a living legend, and we're thankful to have him here in Sacramento. And congratulations on the 3,000th game for G-Man. Garry, I was just wondering, for a fellow G-Man, what? Well, you're not the G-Man though, but for a fellow G-Man,
that's all good. I'll give that to him. He's the OG.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But Garry Double R, I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on Garry Gerald?
Nah, like you said, same thing exactly. You can put my name, copy and paste to what you just said. Literally, I've been watching him hearing him on the radio since a kid. I remember to turn on the radio if I'm missing a Kings game from out and out. Tell my parents turn it on. Always hear him. To meet him in person quite a few times now. Just a super humble, nice guy. You can ask him, talking about anything. So shout out to him. Congratulations for him, because I don't think that many people reach this type of feat, especially doing it for how long he's been doing it. And you could tell like the way he just talks about the game and everything like that. It's respect that how much love and so passion he still has for it. So shout out to him for being the King's voice of radio for so many years, and can't wait to hear more.
Kevin, how about you? What does the G-Man mean to you?
Oh man, it means the world to me, man. Like Garry mentioned, as young kids hearing him in the car for 3,000 games, man. For you to sit through 3,000 Kings games and be there every night, and you have to entertain the people listening to the game for 3,000 games. A lot of those were L's, man. But for him to kind of be around for our old days, and now he was there for the dog days, and now we're kind of on the way back up, man. And just credit to him, man, because like Garry mentioned, he kept a lot of guys interested. It was hard to be a Kings fan enough, but to tune in just to hear Big G go on the radio show, man, really meant a lot to the Kings. And I hope they show him his flowers while he's here, man. Retire his mind, give him some in the banners. Just while he's here, let's make sure we give him the flowers, because we can all do it when it's too late. So let's give him his flowers while we can still celebrate him.
Yep, give him his flowers now before it's too late. Let him see it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I just want to get to a couple of our YouTube comments here on episode 17 of Stats Over Politics. What's up with our guy James as he's checking in? He says, "Where's Tot?" Tot's right there saying monster in the comments. He will be here soon. And what's up with our guy Wes? He says, "Always with the Kings." Yes, because it's a Sacramento-based show, Wes. I'm sorry. But he said, "Did I miss the Dame Dollar segment, or is Kev hating?" No, Wes, you're right on time. Damian Lillard dropped 71 points last night. And if memory serves correct, he had 41 in the first half. Absolutely nuts for Damian Lillard as he continues to prove why he was an all-star this year. Because there was I don't think among us, but there was a little debate around NBA circles like Portland is not even in the play-in. Why is Dame getting an all-star nod? It's because he's clearly still one of the best players in the NBA and one of the best point guards in the NBA. And so last night he dropped 71 points. Kevin, you are in the state of Oregon, so I'm going to kick things off with you. What about the greatness of Dame Dollar?
Before we get into this greatness, man, as a local Portland guy, I just want to let him know how disappointed I am. I went to the game, the Rockets and Blazers game during Halloween. He didn't want to play. I was expecting something crazy, and then literally the exact same team the next time they come to town. He not only does he play, but he goes for 71, 41 in the first half. It kind of goes to say just how much he means to the city. Like Shaun mentioned, there's a lot of people here. I know Shaun and Garry were rooting for him to be an all-star, but I honestly didn't think it was an all-star just based on the team atmosphere and what they've been doing. They've been kind of doing the same thing. We've gone through this tango plenty of times, but we're here to give Dame his credit. And I just want to share this interesting stat of all these people that have scored over 70. We have Wilt with 100. Kobe with 81, Wilt Chamberlain 78, David Thompson 73, Wilt was 73 3 times in a row, and then Dame was 71. So it's a very nice list to be on, man. A lot of people weren't able to say they can do that. A lot of people on today's talk shows on Get Up and First Take talking about 70 is the new 50. So if you score 50 for a night, man, you might get outscored. But Dame also broke a lot of other records that people aren't mentioning. The first 70 points under 40 minutes played. The lowest free throw attempts, which is crazy to think. The first one to do with 10 plus threes, the highest true shooting percentage, and he is the oldest person to score 70 points. So credit to Dame, man, California kid. So I got to show nothing but love to him, but I'm mad he didn't do it the first time.
Well, Donovan Mitchell was 70 or 71 or 69.
Donovan Mitchell had 71.
70. Oh, they just tied, so I was good. Yeah.
Okay. And then Book, what if I got Book? Book had 60 or was 70?
He had 70. Book had 70.
Oh, he had 70. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure.
Only eight players. Eight players all time have scored at least 70 points in a game. Like that's you just entered yourself in a Hall of Fame conversation right there.
He's been Hall of Fame now.
Well, yes, obviously.
Is it debate?
I'm talking about that specific accolade.
Dude, I also one of my friends got engaged this weekend, so I was with a lot of Portland Blazers fans, and I was having this debate with one of my guys. His name is Rhino. He tunes into the show a lot, and we were having this debate if Dame was the best Blazer, and it's really hard to compare because none of them have really won anything. But you have Clyde, and they have the appearance, the finals appearance when Scottie came to town, but Scottie really wasn't there much. He was there towards late end of his career. Yeah. So, I was preaching for anyone but Dame just from a winning standpoint. But then when we had a really good debate, a lot of people in Portland haven't won. So it's like all you can go off is accolades and points and to see who got him the farthest. Yeah, Dame might not ever meet a finals appearance with the Blazers, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer. And I got to say, man, I was wrong. He's definitely the best Blazer of all time.
Him and Clyde are
So
probably right there neck and neck, I'm assuming.
Nah.
But Clyde too. I mean, like, he put them on the map first of all, but like, yeah, he got a fouls appearance too. So I think at the end of the day, it's probably gonna be Dame. But right now, it's probably right neck and neck, I would say. But Dame's gonna obviously win everyone's hearts over, and the scoring's ridiculous. Obviously, it's gonna be totally in and out. But what, Sean?
I was just gonna mention some of Dame's stats as well, and also kind of relating to another topic that we're gonna get to later because our guy Jaevon, who's gonna be joining us soon, he went to the Kings and Blazers game that was this past Thursday, and Damian Lillard,
Both missed it.
he was coming off of the All-Star break, but he didn't play at all. And yes, the Blazers dealt with a lot of plane issues just to get to Sacramento for last Thursday's game because of the snowstorms that have been going on in Oregon that Kevin mentioned earlier. And so I understand it, but then that kind of gets to the load management argument that keeps coming back up. And we saw Charles Barkley on First Take this morning, and that issue came back up again. And so I want to get to Dame and show him his respect for what he did last night, but also I want to get to this, Garry, of load management in the NBA. You're a big NBA guy. You stay locked in with the NBA, and with that, you also see a lot of guys on the bench who are resting, a lot of stars. So, what are your thoughts on this? Because there's a lot of guys who say, like Charles Barkley, who say if you want to make 40 to 50 million a year, then you should play in 80% of the games at least. What are your thoughts on that?
I think obviously load management is a problem. Well, first of all, let's finish the Dame real quick. I think real quick the Dame. Let's give flowers to Dame real quick. Like Kev said, 71, ridiculous. The 3-pointers. I watched his 71 point. I watched. I was at work when it was happening, but I watched his 71, all his buckets twice. I had to watch it twice. I don't know why I wanted to watch it twice because I was like, bro, he's scoring in every which way. And then him talk about it after the game about how you could just tell like. Even my friend who was watching with me was like, dang, Dame's doing, I guess you say Curry type things where he's moving off the ball a lot. You know what I'm saying? Which Dame, you see a lot of dribbling and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see Dame, even him talk about it post game about how like him just reaching the level where like, all right, he's really giving what the defense takes him. And he's making it so effortless and easy that his 71 didn't even feel like he even was even cooking that much. He said like easily could I feel like Dame type of player. I feel like one of those few players in the league probably still right now can get, it has a still chance to get 80 like Kobe did. You feel me? I really think he has a chance, especially if they would have, like I just feel like players like him can do it. So like him and Book, you can say KD, maybe LeBron if he really, really needs it. I know people might fight me on that, but I feel like LeBron, if he told him this is all you need to do all game, don't even assist the ball or nothing, I think he can go get it if he really is all fully healthy. But shout out to Dame real quick, giving his flowers. And really, like, man, we watched a historical performance last night. It's pretty crazy to see what he was doing and how effortless it was. So, and now to Sean's point, I'm going to let Kev take that real quick. Now we can bounce back to me, Sean. Kev, what you think about load management? You think we can fix this or what you think about it?
Before we go off of this, Garry, I just want to let you know you didn't miss much, man. You watching the highlights, watching the game. Once because I guess his career high was
watching
56.
The score.
So once he got to 50, Garry, I'm telling you, there are people just sitting at half court waiting for him to get open. And Dame's like, do something, dribble, do something. They just every shot was going to him. It was insane to watch. But with this whole load management thing, there's nothing you can really do to fix it. They're not going to take less games away because it takes away from the final goal, which is just making all the money. So and then that one season, I think it might have been the bubble season where we had a whole bunch of superstars hurt, and that's all you complained about. Everyone's talking about the bubble was an asterisk, all the guys weren't playing, but now when they're playing and they're healthy and they're just sitting out games, so when they get to the big show in the playoffs, they're able to play. So it's just really much getting your return on investment. You're like, yeah, I understand the fan perspective. Like, we all work 9-to-5 jobs. We spend all these money on these tickets to see these big time names. And then just for, fight, like the example with the Jimmy Butler situation with the kid, 4 minutes before the game is rolled out. You have to get, as an owner, as a GM, you have to get the best return of investment. If you have Kawhi Leonard out here in December getting hurt, it does nothing for the end game because there's teams like the Clippers who have never won anything. All they're trying to do is get to this point. So they're whatever they can do to make sure when game one of the Western Conference Finals play or regular season or this playoff start, they have a full lineup. They're going all in. You can tell by the moves they're doing. It really just goes to show that they're really just trying to get the return of investment. And I know the old guys, saying you're an Iron Man for playing 82 games, but the game is different, man. It's a lot more moving, a lot more grooving. Back in the day, I saw JJ Redick mentioning, it's a lot more post work. We're throwing the ball to the post, we're standing there. Dudes are running crazy miles as it is, and it's you have to do whatever you can to get the most return of investment. So I understand from both perspectives, but at the end of the day, the NBA is a business, and it's money. So it's not going to shorten the games, so the players aren't going to be happy there. But this new players bargaining agreement will show a lot.
And kind of relating to that with load management and also the Kings and Clippers game that we were talking about earlier is apparently the Kings, they broke the NBA because according to Eric Pincus, the NBA could reportedly implement a target score for overtime games, just like the Elam ending with the All-Star game. And the quote from the story says, that would prevent overlong broadcasts and overloading player minutes, like Los Angeles Clippers forward Kawhi Leonard's playing 46 minutes and a double overtime loss to the Sacramento Kings on Friday. Kawhi played 46 minutes in a double overtime game, but the point is that they would much rather have that be in the playoffs rather than in a meaningless regular season game, as great as that game was.
Meaningless. See, we're attributing, we're putting more oil on the fire here. I ain't gonna lie, I miss, guys? Like, what happened to like appointment? Okay, but we watch football. There's the only couple things in the world now, especially because of streaming and everything like that. Watch on your phone. There's nothing really you need to set an appointment. Back in the day, if you miss a show, whatever, back when you kids with SpongeBob coming on at 7 a.m., you better catch that episode or you're good luck trying to find it. You better wait for the rerun. Like football's like, you better catch it right at now. Basketball regular season doesn't really have an appointment viewing no more. And I really don't like that. So I'm thinking of ways how we can try to get, and I think Adam Silver needs to think about a way too, obviously, for his product, his regular season to be more valued. Because at the end of the day, regular season games are not as valued as much as they are back in the day. So many fans you come into who are NBA fans are just waiting. It's not, I don't blame them. They're casual NBA fans and they just really want to watch the playoffs. They can't wait till the playoffs start. That's when everyone starts, But these regular season games would get you set up for those moments and things of that nature. And at least as a kid, remember the prime time games, all right, LeBron now versus KD, you know what I'm saying? Those primetime TNT, ESPN games that sometimes these players are sitting now, I think that's a really major issue. I like what the young buck Anthony Edwards said the other day in All-Star. I wish these guys are going to play. I wish that, that he tried to play for even Westbrook said plays for the kid that hasn't seen him come, because, we were all once those kids. Even those NBA players were once those kids too. Come see one player, one game. If he sits out, man, you are crying. You be mad. You're irritated. One of my friends went to the Dame game, and Dame didn't play. And obviously, I'm like, tough, bro. Sorry. I hope you see him on the sideline. What else can you do? And it's like Dame, I don't want to put his face on this because, obviously, he's a guy who actually plays a lot of his games. He played the majority of his games. Last year, he got injured. This year, he's been out. So I think it was just a little bit of maybe the flight thing. I don't know. I was laughing earlier at Kev, what you were saying, Kev, a little bit, not what you were saying. It was really because you mentioned JJ Redick's podcast, right? About how he's talking about the, so many miles and stuff like that, the post work. I'm listening to what's his name? Rob Parker and them and Chris Broussard on The Odd Couple. They have a really cool show too. And obviously they're old school and they're complaining. They were talking shit about JJ Redick, saying that how you over complaining about staying in the paint. They're obviously gonna go back to old school days like roughhousing. It's funny how that'd be just, it's old people, young people on their decades just try to downplay. Even I think we seen Gilbert Arenas recently say those 80 players ain't shit. They can't last no. You know what I'm saying? It's but they killed their era for a reason, and I feel like they can kill this era. And if you give those people the same tools and stuff like that, I feel like those players who are the minor league players, whatever, the sideline players, the backups, the other starters, the role players off the bench, they're going to take time to develop a jumper and things of that nature. So it's how can we get back to that back in the day? We're going to have to put more value in the regular season. And like you said, we can't shorten the games. And only thing we can do is really give more space between back-to-backs to give more players to play. That's the only thing I can think of, literally. Because if we lower the games, it's all the record books are going out the window, like you said. But then if we open up the regular season, what the first complaint's going to be? It's going to be, oh, our summers are shortened. So it's all right, there's I don't know what Adam Silver. I think that's why Adam Silver is this problem is a fucking problem. I think that's really what he's doing because his problem has been here for about 6-7 years. Spurs and them started it way back with Tim Duncan and them sitting out the TNT game when he said "F you" to the NBA, and did I think they said I think Manu, Tony Parker, all three of them back home, Kawhi, and they were pissed. And that's when it all started, really, like when it got to a big scale. So if y'all can find a solution, help me, because I don't think these guys got a solution, and it's going to be, like you said, it's really sad to see, to be honest.
And I know you mentioned the importance of regular season games, but there is no importance of them if they're all hurt.
Yeah, I mean, the importance to
Not if they're
standing
hurt.
wise.
Not if they're hurt. They're not gonna watch anyways if they're hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So you're agreeing. So yeah, no one's gonna watch if they're hurt. You're right. They're gonna be hurt. But so I was like, I don't knock them if they're hurt. If you're hit, you're sitting out. What can we do? You got to get better. There's nothing, like Anthony Davis injury. He's injured, but preventing injuries is like, bro, you can't do that. Like, I don't care what science is about it. Like, there's just hold on with science about it. But even the players have came out and said, like, I'm not trying to sit out this day in that game. The team is making me, like you said, Kev. The team is like Clippers. Their goal is to win the championship. So they're saying F the regular season too. So it's actually like Adam Silver got to talk to the owners, which got to talk to like coaches. Like, why are we preaching this in the locker room? When did this start getting preached? Like, it used to be a symbol of honor. Like, all right, not 82. Like, get with LeBron. Like, it's all good. Play 67. We all understand. You're not gonna play every game. If you miss one game, the kid's sorry in the away team. It's all good. What can you do? But you can't make every single one. Michael Jordan, all these guys didn't make every single one. I know they played 82 multiple times, but you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen nowadays. It's all good. But at least don't be so drastic where you're playing 30 and you're not injured. That's the thing. If you're injured, it's all by all means, sit out. That's what you have to do. Obviously, if Fox gets injured today, any of these players, sit out, bro. We need you for the playoffs. We want to win the chip. We want to have a deep run. We want you ready for the playoffs. But if you're not injured and you're just not playing because you just want your ankle hurts a little bit or whatever like that, like, come on, bro. Let's go. Like, buckle up. Like, there's players who play through that. Like, Bradley Beal is one of those players who plays. If he's a little bit injured, he can go through it. Because at the end of the day, it's a sport. Look at those football players. They're nicked and knacked every week. They're going to play through it because that's what first of all, they want their bag. Second of all, they want to show up for their teammates. Third of all, they want to show up for their city. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you have that values in you, I feel like it's good. But if you're sitting out for the wrong reasons, it's tough. And, how can you monitor that as a league? You can't monitor that. So it's like you got to preach something better, I guess.
It's a business, man. If you're hurt out there, there's no point to go out there because if you go out there and hurt yourself,
exactly.
The NBA is going to wipe their hands with you and say, oh, remember what this dude used to do? Like we do with D Rose, man. Like he lost a lot of money. Like he still made a lot of money, but that's all people talk about, the Grant Hill injuries. If Trace McGrady stayed healthy.
Isaiah Thomas.
The list goes on and on and on, man. So it's like it's a double-headed sword, which I don't know how they're going to fix, but there's benefits to both sides.
Yeah, I'm not saying play through major injury. I'm just saying, would you agree that if they're pretty healthy but just sitting out to prevent injury, like you can't, that's in God's hands. You're not going to prevent injury for not playing one day. You know what I'm saying? If you're injured a little bit, yeah, don't play. Don't risk it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're perfectly healthy, you're sitting up to prevent injury, like some players are doing, then I wouldn't, and that's not their fault. It's really sometimes, like I said, it's the leg. Oh, back-to-back guy. No, you're not playing the back-to-back today. 2 and 3 nights, you're not playing. Like the coach staff telling you, they're therapists, and it's obviously they're getting a chain of command too here. So I'm just saying from the top needs to be preached more. That's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming the players really. I think the players want to play. I'm pretty sure. I think I seen Justin Vanderbilt from the Lakers the other day. He literally said, "Oh, I'm not complaining. I love to play basketball." And I love the attitude. Like that's what you have your dream. You're playing your dream. You're doing your dream every day. And all of them players know that's why they're so blessed and they're so nice and they're all like you could talk to. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, but the people who are not playing on, like, let's be honest, like Kawhi Leonard sometimes, like what's one of those players who are healthy and are just not playing sometimes. Sometimes I think one time Trae Young didn't play in SAC. He was fine. He didn't play. I'm not trying to call people out, but that, yeah, exactly. There's some players that are like, bro, aren't you playing? Aren't you fine? So that's the only ones usually are head scratchers.
Yeah, and so new Laker Jared Vanderbilt, let's also remember that he used to be on the Timberwolves with Anthony Davis, who was really the one who kind of just started this discussion a couple of weeks ago and really reignited it, because Anthony Davis was that one who was saying, like, I was that kid, and, like, I wouldn't want someone to miss out on a game. And I also want to preface this next statement by saying that I understand there's a key difference with this, with the regular season versus the playoffs, but we also need to distinguish being hurt versus being injured. Because if you're like a Lamar Jackson where you have money on the line, if I'm hurt, I'm sitting out. But if you have guaranteed money, there is a difference between hurt and being injured. if it's the regular season and you don't have much on the line, you're likely going to sit out when you're hurt. But when the playoffs comes, guys play when they're hurt, but they don't play when they're injured. And also,
we
finally,
can't knock them for because they'll get cut real quick if you get injured, you're out. So we're not knocking people for saying injured. I don't think no one is. That'd be so dumb. Why would you knock someone for being injured? I think the main thing is we're trying to knock them. I don't know who we're knocking. We're really knocking the league, bro. I'm really knocking the league. Like something needs to be fixed here where the incentive is we don't, fix something. If it's knocking a couple games out, I guess it's gonna be knocking a couple games out. I mean, go ahead, Shaun.
Yeah, I was just going to say I also want to shout out Damian Lillard as well because yes, we did use him as the prime example in this situation and with this topic. But I want to shout out Dame because I saw from ABC 10's Kevin John after that game last Thursday, he posted photos of Dame literally walking up into the crowd in Sacramento in his street clothes and taking pictures and signing autographs for all the Portland fans who came out to pretty much see him. And then they stuck around and he came out and he at least made it worth it for them because they didn't get to see him play in person, but some of them I'm sure have already seen him in person. And then that experience alone and Dame taking the time to recognize, I sat out this game. These guys came to see me. I didn't play, but I still gave them a memory. And I just thought that was really cool by Dame. A lot of players do things like this. I mean, we talked about Jimmy Butler earlier and him getting ruled out 4 minutes before the game. And there was that one kid who was there and that one kid apparently goes to every single NBA arena, every single arena saying, "Oh, you were my favorite player. I traveled this far to see you." Okay, that story wasn't as cute as I thought it was, but still, Jimmy Butler did something really nice for the kid and his family, his sister, and gave him a whole tour, gave him a jersey, photo op, all those things. And so, shout out to the players. I mean, they're putting themselves first, and they're prioritizing not only their careers but their health long term, all those things. I mean, it's completely different between the NBA and NFL. But just for example, today I saw a guy, Byron Jones, who used to play at UConn, and then I think he got drafted to the Cowboys or something like that. And I saw him on Twitter today where he quoted a tweet from like 7 years ago where they were basically saying that he could jump over 2 cars. His leaping ability was so ridiculous that he could jump over 2 cars. And now 7 years later, because of everything he went through in the NFL, he can hardly even jump at all anymore. And that just kind of shows what injuries can do to you. So I kind of side on the player side of things, especially when it comes to the regular season, Garry.
Yeah, I don't think no one's doing any malicious intent of sitting out. I don't think that's the problem here. I think the problem is the league not valuing their own games, so players are not really valuing it themselves. They say which makes sense. If I tell you you're not gonna get judged until the playoffs, they're not gonna care about you until the playoffs. Your legacy won't be defined until the playoffs, and how many rings you win. How do you expect a player to care about a Tuesday night in quote unquote what everyone would say Sacramento? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was a prime example.
They were Tuesday night in Sacramento. Exactly. So like it never knocked them. We all understand what they're coming from. I think it's just the league trying to help them more to like not incentivize, just make it more easy for them not to sit out for no reasons that are not valid. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only way they could do it. And I think that's gonna have to be the space and the schedule out. That's like the main thing. Especially in the schedule out, giving these guys bodies rest and things of that nature. I think it's gonna help. And yeah, like Kev said, who knows? It'd be like the bubble, and you can all be unlucky, and everyone can get injured again because they had 3 months during that time too, and they got all injured. So I don't know. It's all comes down to luck too. At the end of the day, guys, the healthiest always survives in any sport. Every year we can go through it. So.
Yeah, I definitely think it comes down to luck when it comes to just winning a championship in general, for sure. And so you guys are tuned into episode number 17 of Stats Over Politics. I'm Sean Holko alongside Kevin Dent and Garry Singh. Jaevon Toddy should be arriving soon. And I just wanted to ask everyone who's tuning on YouTube, if you enjoy the show, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps us grow. We really appreciate it. That's how we get seen on other people's channels, in the suggested feeds and everything. So if you like the video, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Also subscribe. We really appreciate you all. So now, guys, let's get to some other news in the NBA, as we did talk about how Nate McMillan, he ended up getting dismissed by the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not sure if we ended up talking about that here on this show. We might have talked about it in our group chat is what I'm thinking about. But anyways, the Hawks, they ended up deciding to let go of Nate McMillan as their head coach. It's crazy because I always reference back to Shaun and Vaughn, but when Jaevon and I were doing Shaun and Vaughn, we talked about how great Nate McMillan was and how he proved himself and how he earned that job. And now he's already gone. And now this is 2 head coaches. I mean, I'm not trying to feed into the narrative, but I'm just stating the facts that this is now 2 head coaches that have come and gone in the Trae Young era. And now a guy in Quinn Snyder, a respected, tenured head coach in the NBA, who we all know from his days in Utah, leading the Jazz to the 1 seed and to the conference semifinals a couple times. Now he is the head coach in Atlanta, where he returns, where he once served as an assistant coach under Mike Budenholzer 10 years ago in Atlanta. Now he returns as the head coach. So, Kevin, I'm going to throw it to you first. What do you think about this move for the Hawks? You can pick on either side, on the Nate McMillan side of it or the Quinn Snyder thing.
I think it was a great move for the Hawks. I'm not going to get too much into the Trae Young problem wheel that we're starting to spin, but, you saw what he did turn around Utah, man. Utah kind of was real shaken and they brought him in. Like you mentioned, they were the number 1 seed a lot. They didn't perform as well as everyone thought they were in the playoffs, but they had the awareness. They had the fans. You saw the Utah fans really show out for them. And it really all starts with Quinn. He's a former player. He's been to Atlanta before, so I feel like this is going to be nice for them to kind of restart the culture. And this might be a stage of the Atlanta Hawks story where Trae Young might not be in the next chapter. So we just got to kind of sit around and see. But I think this is a great move for them. Nate McMillan had a really good run. We had the Eastern Conference Finals run and kind of really cemented him for the job, like Shaun mentioned. But, it's like I mentioned, it's return on investment, and you're going to go with your star player. We all knew that they kind of had problems button earlier in the season, and they kind of came up to a public private disagreement that kind of went public. So that kind of was the first stain of it. But I think this is an overall great signing for the Hawks.
Garry, how about you? What do you think of this move?
I think it was a good signing from the Hawks too. Obviously, Quinn Snyder is a proven coach. Obviously, he took the Jazz out the gutter to make the playoffs with Donovan Mitchell, literally, and he helped them. He had a really good defensive staff, I feel like too. Yeah, I really liked his staff when he was in Jazz. I didn't feel like he really. I mean, he left actually on quote unquote mutual terms, which I actually feel like his actually was mutual terms. Like he actually wanted to get out of the toxicity of Utah. I'm assuming after Donovan was going to get traded and things of that nature, the whole thing was going to blow up. So I think he actually made a great move. Didn't get stuck out there, even though Utah is doing good right now. But I think for his sake, he wanted to coach a playoff team with a superstar on there. Not saying Utah doesn't have one. Obviously, Mr. Shaun's guys on there with Laurie Marketing. But I'm just saying I think he wanted something fresh. Just because also the GM changed under his nose too, which usually when you get a new GM, with Celtics GM, forgetting his name right now. Obviously, you guys probably know. Yeah. No, the Jazz GM, but
Danny Ainge is now.
Yeah, went from Celtics to the Jazz, and they probably wanted his own guy, so makes sense. And I think him having those ties back to Atlanta, I think it's really cool for him. I think he had figured out the Conley thing and Mitchell, which I think in the beginning when that first came, I feel like people are a little bit head scratching how that was going to work just for a second. But even though Conley's a really good person and ability with point guard who really deferred obviously to a young Donovan Mitchell, I think he's gonna. That fit has been slowly working points wise. I'm looking around at 27 and 20 points from DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. And I know Kev just hinted that he's leaving. I've been seeing things here and there. I don't know why. I feel like he built something cool after that. I know if right now Vaughn was here, he'd be saying that run they went on to the Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago was great. Exactly. So like they kind of, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of got what we got a couple years ago. Like our Kings can that'd be crazy if we make the Western Conference Finals like that. We could have a type of run where we just come out of nowhere and punch you guys and we make it to the top real quick for a quick second. But like they didn't have sustained success, obviously. They've been talking about trading so many players on this team like Collins and things of that nature, Bogey and stuff like that for so long. I feel like they need to find a formula. And I think that the Utah Jazz, the head coach previous to the Utah Jazz, Quinn Snyder, is going to find that formula for them. And I think he's going to, hopefully, I think the main thing they need to obviously have is a defensive presence and how they run their offense. Because if you watch the Atlanta Hawks a lot, they still do a lot of a little bit Trae Young's turn and then everyone else kind of pitch in where you can type of thing. And I feel I know it's a superstar run league and it runs like that. But I think for Trae Young, it's for his next development in his game. And I think he would agree. I know he's scoring crazy amount of points, 27 points per game, but helping his team and averaging 10 assists. So if you go by the numbers, yeah, okay, you're looking great. But if you actually watch the game and how they're playing, I feel like it'll be way better if they can have more other players play make for him and get him more easier looks so that everyone feels more engaged on defense. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Atlanta, they're not in a bad spot, guys. They're sitting right here. I just looked a couple minutes ago too. They're sitting right here at the 8th spot. Everyone's kind of jam-packed. They're only 2 away, 2.5 away from 7th. So they're in a good spot. Obviously, they want to be higher. And it's kind of crazy that they fired their coach midseason because I know I like the past coach too because he's the one who flipped it around in Atlanta before. So, like you said, we could talk. We don't know what's happening in the locker room between him and the coach. Obviously, there was a split, and you already know what happens. As soon as that happens, coach is gone quick. They're not going to trade Trae Young away. So, exactly. So, I think hopefully Quinn Snyder can connect because this team is young and cool. And, I really want to see Dejounte Murray is one of the young guys I really love watching, especially I seen him talk about on a podcast recently too. I think he was on All the Smoke. Just hearing him talk, you just really want that guy to win. So I really hope they can really figure out that backcourt and get one more piece because they're going to need some defense. And obviously, I don't know. I like John Collins. Personally, I like him. I wanted the Kings game for so long. But obviously, they don't think he's the right fit for them. So they need to find a fit for them and get this thing rolling because they should be make some noise now. They made the big trade for Dejounte Murray now. This should be the year now. They're starting to make some more noise. You guys should be starting to be in the Celtics Bucks talk if you guys got that much talent. You know what I'm saying? They should be because I know you guys are raising eyebrows. Exactly. Y'all raising eyebrows because they're not doing that. But they should be in that conversation. If you knock on the door in the Eastern Conference, what's the next step, guys? Finals. And they took a step back. So they're going to have to get it back to another. They have to try to get back to that next step. So
I love
that.
that was a
Ben Simmons led
that was a fluke.
Team. It was a Ben Simmons led Sixers team.
Okay, y'all saying it's a fluke. I don't think it's a fluke because they had snipers. They had our guy Kevin on there, sniper. They had our guy Trae was sniping. They had a lot of sniper last year.
Ben.
Yeah, exactly. But still, okay, we can. That's a
good
they
had our guy Red Velvet back when
he
was previously known as Vaughn. When he was previously known as Vaughn. But
I was about to say,
he made it clear to me in his introductory press conference that he is no longer known as Vaughn. He is now known as Red Velvet, and he even got the merch out now and everything. And so as Gary, you were mentioning,
K9,
yeah, but that's Kenny Thomas's nickname.
Oh, okay. That's why it's not clicking. Okay, got you.
That's probably why it sounds so good because you've heard it before. And so anyways, Gary, as you mentioned, the Hawks, they are in the 8th seed in the West right now at 31-30, and they're 2.5 games out of the 6th seed, which is the actual playoffs. But then they are 3 games out of the 11th seed, which is completely out of any play-in or playoffs. So before we move on from the Hawks, guys, I just want to get it put on the record. And Jaevon, if you're watching, leave us a comment in the YouTube comments and let us know, will the Hawks be a playoff team, play-in team, or out? Gary, I'm going to throw it to you first. Do you think that the Hawks are going to end up being a play-in, playoff, or out?
They're going to be They're gonna be in the top 6.
Okay, so they're a playoff team. Okay,
they're gonna be a playoff team.
They're locked into the playoffs. Okay, so who's falling out?
It looks
then?
really
Probably
bad
Brooklyn?
though. They're 4 games back, but I really think Brooklyn's gonna fall. So I believe Brooklyn's gonna. I don't know what that noise was.
That's Kevin. That's Kevin. It's all good.
Oh, okay, my bad. So Brooklyn, I feel like Brooklyn's gonna drop, and they're gonna catch up onto them with this coaching change. It's a really tough one. I'm going out on a limb here, but I think they're gonna catch them.
Okay, Kevin, how about you? Where do you think playoffs, top 6, play in 7 through 10, or out for the Hawks?
I'm gonna say out, man. There's just been a lot of turmoil going on, and I feel like Dejounte really wasn't what they were expecting to get. Coming off an All-Star year, we were expecting a lot more from him. I just don't think they have enough going on, man. Capella's been around for a while, like you mentioned. There's always a trade controversy with that team, so. It's just a lot going on, but I feel like the Pacers, now that Tyrese Halliburton is back and healthy, I think they can make a push for the play-in. And then the Raptors, man, they stay put for a reason. It wasn't to not miss the playoffs. So I think that's another team that's going to come up there and sneak them. And I just don't see him making it, man. I know Trae Young, I know I'm scoring a lot, but look at my assists, and I get it, and it looks cool. But like Gary mentioned, it's not winning basketball. So when it comes down to it, I just think they're going to crumble.
I changed my answer to play-in.
Gary changes his answer to playing. Okay.
I'm really looking at it and I'm like, all right, I'll be honest with you. I'm taking my thinking. Brooklyn's dropping. Knicks are going to do good because I do feel like the Knicks, not to say this bad, it's probably going to sound bad, but I feel like they're the Kings of the East. I ain't going to lie. They got
the Knicks?
Low key, bro. I know.
That's disrespectful to the Kings.
I know you're going to say that. We're better than them for surely, but I feel like lefties.
I see what you're talking about, the lefties.
You know what I'm saying? Just like that. They have a good guard post matchup, you know what I'm saying? 2-man tandem like that. They got shooters around them and things of that nature. So they're not as good defensively. They're kind of a little bit better defensively than us. But I was just gonna say the Heat. I know they always get this stuff together. So Atlanta's gonna be playing. Scratch that.
All right. Hey, Tade, what's up? How we doing? I know you were listening in on the conversation. So, are you all locked in with the mics and headphones? You got us and everything?
Yeah, we're good now.
All right, perfect. So where do you think the Hawks are going to finish? You got them top 6 with the playoffs, 7 through 10 with the play-in, or are they out with Quinn Snyder as the head coach?
All right, so I'm looking right now. They're 8th right now. I've said this in the group chat that Quinn Snyder was a coach that just all he knows is how to win. In Utah, when they had Donovan Mitchell and obviously Rudy Gobert, they were just somehow ranked first. They were always like in like the top 3. They were like usually the best, usually the better. They were the best team like in the West, usually. So I think, Quinn Snyder coming on over to the East with Trae Young, a team who has already been to the Eastern Conference Finals, a guy who has, who has a lot of playoff experience. I think the Hawks are a good enough team to get past in the play-in and probably be a top 6 seed. We're looking at, like you said, Brooklyn is a team that's probably going to fall out. The Heat are kind of a very up and down team. I think Jimmy Butler is kind of one of those guys that's just like, all right, let's just get to the playoffs and I'll figure everything else out later. I think the Hawks, they did do this the year that they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They were the worst team. They were one of the worst teams at the All-Star break, and then they went on that surge, and then all the way, and it led them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I definitely see the Hawks finishing in the top 6 seed this year.
You're
Shaun, you
muted.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. I was typing away, and so I didn't want the click, and I forgot that I muted myself. Thank you very much. And so I also think that they're going to finish as a top 6 seed as well, because I think Brooklyn is going to completely fall out. I really think that Mikal Bridges can end up being something for the Nets and really elevating. And side note, I thought it was hilarious when the Nets social media staff asked him, "Who was your favorite player growing up?" And he just starts laughing and he says, "Kevin Durant," because he just got traded as the centerpiece for Kevin Durant, which is hilarious alongside Cam Johnson. But I don't know if this is the Nets' year. However, I mean, I am a believer in the Nets, and it's because of their head coach, Jacque Vaughn, who has finally gotten a real opportunity in the NBA. As we know, he was the interim head coach for the Nets when they were in the bubble. They made it to the playoffs, and then he didn't really get a chance because Steve Nash came. Now he is the head coach for the Brooklyn Nets, and Jacque Vaughn has agreed to a multi-year extension to remain the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and he is going to remain the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets through the 2026-27 season. And so, why do you feel bad for him? Why do you feel bad for him?
He came
Garry?
into chaos. Now, like you just said, he was the first interim. They wanted to give somebody else. Now you come back to me. Like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. Just like the ex leave you, told you to wait, and then she come back. You're like, what? But I know it's opportunity and stuff of that nature. But it's just like, also like, he's left me with this mess. KD left, Kyrie. Why don't I get to coach that team? What? Like, you got to coach it for 20 years, and they all bailed out. Well, it's a mess. Now they got Ben Simmons. You already talked about earlier, knocking on Ben Simmons, kid. So I'm like,
Ben Simmons don't even play.
Exactly. So what is he doing? We got this guy making so much money. He don't play. When he does play, he ain't looking right. Sorry, Ben, but you ain't looking right, my guy. It's tough to say, like, where you at? So it's like, I don't know. They obviously got built. The team should be good around them. They got a lot of shooters still. So the team should be perfect around him. He should be the point guard. Who's stopping him not from being point guard? This is what they should have. They wanted. Back in the day, we're talking about, should we pick Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons to build around? Obviously, we know who they picked. They picked Joel. It was a great gamble by them, but great pick. And now we're going to see when Ben Simmons team around him, how is it going to look like? Is he ready for that? I don't know. So I feel bad for Jacque because he got to deal with all this extra stuff he already been dealing with. Like, I wish he had a more clean slate, starting for something scratch and something fresh to where, wasn't so much chaos and toxicity before. So, but hey, if anyone can rebuild, it's probably going to be him because he was in that. So now he knows how to fix it. So good luck to Jacque. Congratulations.
Javon, what do you think, Javon? Garry was saying that he feels bad for Jacque because of everything he had to come into. And yes, everything he had to deal with, I understand that. But I mean, I'm looking at things for once optimistically. And now he has a path forward. He has years to work on it with the Nets. It's not like he has to worry about just getting into the playoffs this season. So he has time.
There's a lot of people who get fired, though, in multiple years in the deal.
Well, okay, but there is guaranteed money in it, so you can fire me
matter,
and
yeah.
pay me out the
No,
door. That's
yeah,
the Kings.
exactly. But then
The
it
Kings
paints
are
your
still
name.
paying like 5 coaches right now, Gary. Why?
know.
Guaranteed money. That's why. So Jaevon, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think about Jacque Vaughn getting a multi-year extension with the Nets?
Well deserved. I think he's a solid coach. This Brooklyn team right now is kind of just a bunch of wings. A lot of guys that can play, young, scrappy guys. You got a Dinwiddie, you have Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. A lot of, I think, solid pieces to a team. I don't think any one of those players are, at the superstar caliber level like a Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving was. But I think that this team can compete still. They can definitely get into the play-in and probably compete and probably lose in the play-in and get knocked out. But I think that, just going forward, this is a guy for the job. I heard that Gary was mentioning what the hell are they going to do with Ben Simmons? He was a guy who was once upon a time Shaun's favorite player. Third, he was a third-time all.
Dang, Shaun.
He was
exposed.
he was third all NBA team once in his career. I think at 23 years old, made the playoffs. Or
rookie.
not the play, not yeah. He made an all rookie team. He was rookie of the year. He was just a guy that was on top. He was a guy that was on top.
Ben,
and it was just kind of like when what happened to Ben Simmons, and just the whole theatrics of when it. To our loyal Shaun and Vaughn listener, and me and Shaun kind of went back and forth with that whole Hawks series and how they kind of went back and forth. Trae Young. Versus the Ben Simmons, who would you rather have? Blah blah blah.
He was locking him down. I ain't gonna lie.
It was a very interesting.
In some
time.
moments, I say that
it was a very interesting. I think Trae averaged 30, so we could look that up. But
I know
at the end of the day, Ben Simmons was kind of a guy that we looked at coming out of high or college, out of LSU. We were like, oh, he was just gonna. The LeBron comparisons were pretty insane. But it was just I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast, and he was saying, if the Brooklyn Nets called the Magic right now and said, "I'll trade you Ben Simmons for Markelle Fultz," they would laugh in their face and probably hang up. That would have been an insane thing to say 3 years ago, if you think about it, because Markelle Fultz was a guy that in a similar situation, kind of just forgot how to play basketball, I guess, and just kind of lost touch of his shot. And even J. Cole mentioned it in the song and said, "I pray for my coach because they fucked up his shot." It's just now you're looking back at it, Markel's actually a solid piece for a team, I think, and now it's kind of just like, what the hell are you going to do with Simmons? And Jacque Vaughn even mentioned in a press conference.
We might have just
bring the ticker to one.
All right, so we just lost our boy Toddy temporarily.
Shaun, I'm telling you.
Okay, well, potentially. Oh, he just reloaded. Toddy, we lost you for about 15 seconds with a little lag. Are you back? I see you clicking the mute button on and on and on and off and on. Toddy, are we back? Are you back? I don't know. Okay, he is not back, and he will be back. Toddy will be back.
Two's on the board, y'all. We're gonna start doing over-unders on this, bro. We gotta start having some bets on the wagers.
Leave Toddy alone.
Man, I was waiting to hear Shaun cook.
I can't. He's back. He is back. All right, Jaevon. Well, no, Jaevon, did you get everything off your chest that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay. Well, I just flipped it around the cameras a little bit. Okay, we're good to go. So, Kevin, I'm not really gonna cook him. I just have to defend myself a little bit because I feel like I was misquoted. He says that I was Ben Simmons' #1 fan. No, I was Ben Simmons' #1 defender because he was just getting absolutely attacked. And this was before he fell off the cliff. Okay. This is when he could only not shoot. He could still do a lot of other things. And so I was the one telling him, well, Ben Simmons is a 3-time All-Star. He's 2-time first-team All-Defense. And I was just naming off all the accolades that Ben Simmons has earned in the first 5 years of his career. And just because I decided to defend him and not let Jaevon talk about him like he was some scrub, keep in mind, this was 3 years ago. But because I had to defend him, I instantly became Ben Simmons' #1 fan. So apparently, if that everything I just said, if that makes me Ben Simmons' #1 fan, I am Ben Simmons' #1 fan.
And no, I was on his ass because Ben Simmons had 4 points in a playoff game, and I was like, Shaun, this is your boy right here. This is your boy right here.
It got painful.
I don't think you want to defend him anymore, Shaun.
Yeah.
No, bro.
He's done now. He
It ain't
tried.
happening, Kevin. Yeah, I tried. But hey,
This-
shout out to David Patrick, Sac State men's basketball head coach, the godfather of Ben Simmons. Shout out to David Patrick. That's the most positive thing I can say about Ben Simmons right now. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I was about to say, okay, I like what Vaughn said. That's just a good little topic real quick. What do you guys think? Let's do the same thing with the Brooklyn Nets. We're saying out, play-in, or playoffs?
Okay.
My computer loads up.
Okay, so I
Shaun,
think right
your
now,
first one.
yeah. So Jaevon, you said play in, Jaevon.
Yeah, they could thank Katie and Kyrie for that. Like our record
Okay.
is so good that we're gonna lose as many games we can and still make the play.
I'm gonna say they're out. I think they fall out completely. And the reason why is you look at a couple of teams that are trailing them and that are real close. I mean, Charlotte and Detroit, they're out. Everyone else is in it.
Especially
You got Orlando is 3 games back at 10 right now. Indiana is 2 games back at 10 right now. Tyrese Halliburton, he's
Orlando
back.
playing you?
Interesting. And then you also have Chicago, who are currently only a half game out of 10 right now. And I mean, yeah, Chicago's dysfunctional. They're having issues, but I mean, they still got DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, and so they got a handful of former All-Stars and one current All-Star. And so I believe in Chicago and I believe in Indiana more than I believe in the Brooklyn Nets right now as constructed. Kevin, how about you? We got playoffs, play in, or out.
Get the notepad out, Shaun.
All
They're
right,
making the playoffs. I don't know what you guys are looking at. This team is still pretty solid.
I was looking at that right now,
I know it's not Kevin Durant and Kyrie and James Harden, but man,
they're deep.
Mikal Bridges, like we mentioned, like if anyone on this team has the potential to make that jump, it's going to be Mikal. Nick Claxton has made a jump. You could arguably say he was deserved to be an all-star defensive player of the year candidate. Dorian Finney-Smith, probably one of the best wing defenders in the league. You got Cameron Johnson, another young 3-and-D defender. And you guys are forgetting, they have, I think, 4 or 5 first-round picks from the Suns?
Yeah.
Chris Paul and KD ain't going to be around. So those picks might come back around, and we're looking at this Nets team as they're back in the title contention. You know, they got those picks. It all comes down to hitting it. But you can't sit here and tell me that we think the Heat are going to make it over them, the Hawks are going to make it over them, the Raptors. There's no way, man. There's no way you can say the Nets are going to fall out of the top 6.
Kevin, they're going to blow this team up in the summer and try to get –
Toronto Raptors is 7-3 last 10 games.
Blow this team up in the summer. They're gonna get more draft capital, and they're gonna make a run after Wemby. Mark my words.
Who, the Nets? Blow up for what? Who they gonna blow up?
They ain't got that picks to really blow up. Really, they gave away the main picks away.
Spencer Dinwiddie. You ain't getting nothing for Wemby. Not with this.
No. Wait. What did he say, Ron?
He was talking about they're gonna blow the team up and try to make a run for Wemby.
How are they gonna blow the team up now? It's past the deadline.
In the offseason.
Paused. Oh, okay. Now, Wemby's over, bro. If you want to get in the Wemby trail, you need to begin in the beginning of the year now. It's too late now. But anyways, I was going to say, I got him in the – I got him in the play-in. I got Brooklyn in the play-in, Kev. The roster is really still deep. I still like you said, and then you name all the pieces they got. Like you said, Seth Curry's still good. Dinwiddie always going to prove and get a bucket. Mikal Bridges, still one of the best 3-and-D guys. Stuff like that. We already talked about Patty Mills. Good OG still in the game. Ben Simmons, I guess whatever you want from him. You don't know. Dorian Finney-Smith, good 3-and-D guy. So I see them. They're not going to totally fall off. And they're going to make the play-in for sure. I do see now looking at what we're going to talk about here. Like I said, I feel like it's one of these teams are going to have to be off. Like Shaun said, he said Indiana Pacers, Chicago Bulls might creep in. Toronto Raptors, these 5-6 teams are going to be fighting. There's only 2 teams that can be left out of this list with superstars on them, but either tie with Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana, Chicago Bulls with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, or the Washington Wizards with the Beal. So I think the Washington Wizards are going to fall out here, and I think only one team's going to get it. I think Miami, Atlanta, and Toronto are still going to make the play-in. I think they're still going to make the playoffs if we're going to go into it, but I think Kev's sleeping on Toronto. I like Toronto. Toronto came up in here and beat us in our face, came in and whooped our butt, to be honest with you, and show us that we need to stop sleeping. And they got a lot of 3-and-D guys, long defenders who play hard. I just don't want to knock that team because one thing about Toronto, since Kawhi was there, before Kawhi, that atmosphere and that culture has been set that they're going to play hard every night. So I still feel like they're going to be in the race, and they're not going to lose too many games here. So that's why I think how I really stick. I think Washington. I also got Washington falling out, and either it's going to be Chicago or Indy. I think whoever's going to be more healthy at the end. But are we good here? Are we all frozen?
No.
No.
Okay.
We are listening to you.
Oh no, I thought Vaughn's still frozen. I was just wondering. Is it good?
Nope. We're good. He's good. And so okay, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. And real quickly, forgive me, Kevin, I didn't have the notepad out when we were talking about the Hawks. So let's just go around one more time, but real quickly for the Nets. Let's see. I'm the only one who has them out. Garry and Jaevon have them in the play-in. Kevin has them in the playoffs. For our audio-only listeners, Kevin's currently showing us today's final score of the Knicks 109 and the Boston Celtics 90.
JB didn't play, sir.
Hey, man, we don't need excuses.
I appreciate you.
Yep, I said the Knicks are going to make it.
Okay, and now so for the Hawks, remind me real quick, guys. So I said they'll go to the play-in. Jaevon, where do you got the Hawks finishing?
I got the
Hawks
playoffs. So top
okay,
six.
and
Kevin, y'all see Jaevon? I don't see Jaevon.
I can see.
I see Jaevon. He's on my screen. Okay, well,
but yeah, no, Hawks will be at home.
Okay, Kevin says they're out, and Garry, where do you have the Hawks finishing? Just for the notepad review.
Playing.
All right, great. So it has been written down. It has been documented. Yeah, so you guys are all not locked into episode number 17 of Stats Over Politics. I'm Sean Holko alongside Jaevon Sadi, Kevin Dent, Garry Singh. And now, guys, let's get to a couple more NBA topics real quickly. We're going to get to the Bucks potentially being sold to the Haslam family, and then we're also going to get to the MVP race. So let's get to the sale of the Milwaukee Bucks that could be potentially happening for $3.5 million to the Haslam family, who own the Cleveland Browns. The Lasry family, I mean, they came into Milwaukee. They built the Bucks a new arena. They won a championship, and now they're about to walk out with like $3 billion in profit. So not a bad deal for the Lasry family. Garry, I want to get to you first. What do you think about the Bucks being sold? Do you think it's a good move for the Haslam family, or is it a bad move for Milwaukee? Because the Cleveland Browns have a dark shadow over them, and a lot of people feel like it's because of the Haslam family.
I lie, you guys. Hopefully, I'm looking good and everything like that. Everything's frozen on my end, but you guys is moving and talking, but everything else is frozen. So I don't know what's happening. I can't even see Vaughn, but if he's there, perfect. I'm just gonna keep rolling with what we got. But okay, back to Haslam family. I'm not gonna lie, I never heard of him before. Thank you for letting me know, Sean. Really love Sean producing. No clue this topic was coming, but hey, I ain't gonna lie, they ain't got nothing to worry about. They got Giannis there. He wants to be in Milwaukee. He loves it. Who cares? As long as they spend money on luxury tax, they keep Giannis happy and keep paying guys and bringing guys to Milwaukee. So far, so good for Giannis because he had no reason to leave yet because he's doing what his team is doing what Cleveland should have did for LeBron the first time around. Put a good team around him and get some superstars. And they've been developing within, obviously, with Middleton. Hopefully he stays healthy and gets it back to where he was because he hasn't been fully right all year yet. But all the shooters around him and obviously having an all-star with him, a 3-and-D guy who's always slept on, and with Holiday, and I think he's getting in good hands. I mean, ain't nothing to complain about. Lucky him. I'm surprised. Sean, you can educate me real quick. I'm sorry I didn't hear it yet, but why did the owners previously sell? Because why would they sell when they have Giannis on their team right now? This is a horrible time to sell.
Well, it's because the Mark Lasry, who's the main investor, he is a New York real estate guy, and the bottom line is he's an investor, and he bought the Bucks when they were in danger of moving out of Milwaukee when they needed to get a new arena. He helped get them a brand new arena, that whole Deer District, and now the team is worth $3 billion more than when they bought in, and so. It might be time for them just to move on. They've owned the team for like 10 years now. Like I said, got a championship. Yeah. So I mean, I think this is exactly. And I think this is Lazary officially deciding to cash out. And so, Kevin, I want to get your thoughts on this next. Because we saw a couple of weeks ago with the Phoenix Suns being sold to Matt Ishbia for $4 billion. And now we see the Milwaukee Bucks being sold potentially for $3.5 billion. What do you think about just the entire situation with the Bucks being sold now currently, but then also in regard to just the overall sale or the cost of NBA teams?
The cost of NBA teams is insane. I would really like to see a lower market team get sold and kind of see what the bottom price is. But like we said with the Suns and the Bucks, they're kind of the top of the top. So I would love to see what a low market team will go for. But to answer Gary's question, man, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers is a part owner too, correct?
I think he has 1%. Percentage.
That means he's leaving. He's out of there. He's getting his check and he's off to Vegas or the Jets. I think that's the real reason they're selling, because Aaron Rodgers is out of town, man. So, yeah, that's all I got to say on it.
I mean, and forgive me, guys, because I, as Gary mentioned, I did not mention to you guys that we were going to talk about this topic, but I saw this news come across the ticker late this afternoon. But the thing about that, though, is and this is all new information, so I could be wrong, but I think Rodgers has his own like small percentage separate from Lazary.
It's like 1% or something like that.
Yeah. So if he decides to join in on the sale, then maybe he'll get his like 1% cut of whatever 40% is being sold. It's ridiculous. So Jaevon, do you have any thoughts on this?
No, not too much. The Haslams, they're notoriously known for not being super great owners in Cleveland, just because of the turmoil that the Browns have kind of went through this entire time. The whole Johnny Manziel fiasco and them just having like a revolving door of quarterbacks for like the last 20 years. I can't really count how many quarterbacks there was, because I seen like a shirt and it just had like the number of quarterbacks.
It's like 17, yeah.
Since like Tim Couch or whatever. So yeah, I mean, this is cool. We're seeing like the price for NBA teams just skyrocket. If the Bucks sell for $3.5 billion, this only just makes me wonder how much of like a Lakers or Celtics is worth. It's got to be in the tens, $20 billion.
Probably around 5.
20.
I mean,
did you say $20 billion?
Historic franchises. That's all.
The Lakers are gonna suck in 3 seasons. They ain't going for $20 billion.
I know, but
you paying for the past.
They have them exactly. They're a storied franchise. All I'm saying, just the amount of championships and historic Kobe, Magic and Kareem and all LeBron. So you're just wondering like what that team would probably sell for. I'd say probably 10 is what I would say. $10 billion.
Okay, so according to Forbes, and this article is from 2022, from September 2022, so fairly recent. So this is not, let's be clear, this is not Sean's pop quiz, but just quick question. Which team do you guys think of all the major professional sports teams?
Cowboys.
Which team do you think? Okay, well,
it's the Cowboys. I know the second one is the Yankees.
That boy Jerry's a bag getter.
No, Kevin, the second one is not the Yankees. The Yankees are actually 4th.
Oh, so, Cowboys, Lakers. It's Cowboys, Lakers.
No, it's actually it's 3
Patriots?
football teams. 3 football teams to start. You got Cowboys, Patriots. Rams, Yankees. Rams, Los Angeles Rams.
That's crazy.
New York Yankees 4, New York Giants 5, New York Knicks 6. Whoa. So New York has most of the top 6, and then also tied for number 6.
Did you say how much they were?
Bears. Yeah. So let's see. Starting off, we got the Dallas Cowboys. How much do you think they're worth, Jaevon? You said $10 billion?
No, I said the Lakers were. So the Cowboys were probably like 6, 7.
Cowboys are worth $8 billion. And then so Cowboys are worth $8 billion. Patriots are worth $6.4 billion, which is like way more than Robert Kraft paid like $100 million for the Patriots back in the 90s. Right?
He probably got a stake. Like
it says it actually says it right there. In 1994, Robert Kraft purchased the New England Patriots for $172 million. And now they're worth $6.4 billion. That is absolutely insane. So yeah, these teams are worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. So before we move on, guys, I just want to get to one last NBA topic. And our friend Garry, he's dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties right now. But I want to get to this last NBA topic, which is in regard to the two-time reigning back-to-back MVP, Nikola Jokic, who, in my opinion, he is looking like he could very well win the MVP for the third straight season. So, I mean, let's ask that question to both of you. Should Nikola Jokic win MVP for the third straight year? Jaevon, I'm going to start things off with you. What do you think?
I mean, they just got blown out by 30 the other night. So, I mean, let's just, before we just hand it over, I get it. Two-time MVP. They're number one in the West. So, but every time they get to the playoffs, it kind of just seems like a bag fumble. But at the same time, he's been without like a star player you could add, or one of his, starting guards or players that are on the starting five. He'll be playing without them. Like last year was without Jamal Murray. I think the year before that, Murray, Kevin Porter Jr. didn't play. So it's kind of tough to judge him there. But at the same time, if you're the MVP, you should be able to just make things like this happen. I think he's averaging a triple-double, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been playing well. I think, Jayson Tatum should be up in there. Joel Embiid's been playing well. I don't think that it's just a surefire thing that Jokic is going to win it. I think there are some other guys that are kind of in the mix still there. But Jokic has been playing out of his mind. As I believe, Jayson Tatum has been. Not tonight. He only had 14 points. Kevin kind of pointed that out earlier in the show. I think there are just guys like I said, Joel Embiid, who's kind of been playing out of his mind as of lately. I think those are the three guys that are kind of in contention for the MVP, if I were to say so myself. But Jokic has been playing well this whole entire year. But I don't think it's just a surefire thing that they're just it has his name on it already.
Okay, Kevin, how about you? What do you think about the MVP race right now?
It's already on the way to whatever country he be chilling at in the offseason. I mean, with his
Serbia.
Chicken. Serbia, yeah, it's already on the way to Serbia. It's got his name on it. It's hard to say he's not, man. I honestly haven't watched a lot of Joker games since the bubble, since his amazing transformation in those 3 months. So I sat down and watched the Clipper game, man, and he tore them apart every time down. He's doing it all. He finished with 40 points, 17 assists with 10 boards, man. On a season, he's averaging 25, 12, and 10, and he is undefeated in games when he scores a triple-double. Michael Porter Jr. is a glorified 3 and D guy, not even the D, just the kind of the 3 guy. He just gets it and he puts him up, man. He's not swinging it, he's not putting it on the ground, and he's not passing it.
I get Tobias Harris vibes from him.
He's gonna be better than Tobias, but I mean Jamal Murray came back and Jamal Murray was doing his thing, man, against the Clippers. So I mean, now that they're back in playing.
I don't think guys are as scared to play the Nuggets in the playoffs. Like I get
they should be. That boy Jokic, man. Woo,
dude, they have depth on depth on depth, man. They just added Reggie Jackson, went in there and went crazy against his old team, man. Calling out the sets, letting them know what's coming before it comes. But just a good talk on the Nikola Jokic, man. I think he's going to be the first 3-time, or not the first, but he's going to be an add to that amazing list. I think Larry's on there, and I can't forget the other guy who's won 3 MVPs, but you're going to have to add him on there. And like I mentioned, it's already on the way to Serbia. He's been doing it 3 years, and now he has no excuse in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs, but I definitely think he deserves the MVP.
Okay, Garry, you clearly have shown many signs of body language that you have already expressed your opinion that it doesn't seem like you think Jokic will win MVP. But I just want to get to a YouTube comment real quick because Uncle Manny, your Uncle Manny, says Jokic will win based upon stats. So, Garry, tell him why he's wrong.
See, Kev, you're not lying. I always say 3 things who votes for, you can see like every voting for every award kind of be different leagues. I feel like what I see how they vote upon, which my opinion is they vote on 3 things:
stats, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. Those are the 3. Kev.
Yep, appreciate it, Vaughn.
Thank you, Jay.
So, yep. 3 things they always do on. They do personal stats, or how much you score per game, all things of nature, right? Personal accolades. Then team stats, we all know. Shaq always gets on. Kenny and Charles were always saying that you don't care about what the team is. That's why we've seen Westbrook win before. That's why we actually seen Jokic win last year. Okay, and the third one is people, we can't deny it. That's what the NBA is all about. It is storyline. All right, it is storyline. That people care about the
narratives.
They care about it. I don't care anyway. It's sad to say, and if you're a player, you probably hate it. But if it plays in your hand, it might be good. If it doesn't play in your hand, you're going to hate it. That's how it goes. That's how all this sports stuff works, guys. People love the game, but they love the storylines that attach to the game as well, okay? Because these are great players, and it's all entertainment value, and they do a great thing for us. They play the best sport, one of the best sports in that we can't do. So those are 3 things. So I think Jokic checks the first 2 boxes. But Kev, I don't think he should check the storyline box. It should not be checked for him. I don't think he deserves to have that 3 times in 3 straight years, even though he's been the most healthiest, played the longest, been playing great. You can't knock him. You all said that. You said everything right. That bro, anytime he's going, bro, when he's in the game, I see him when they played Sacramento on the back-to-back. Bro, this guy's unstoppable, bro. He literally missed the game winner. He'd been taking it all night. He just missed it. Like, it was easy. He just missed it. Like, any other 9 times out of 10, he was knocking that down. We just got lucky he missed it that game. He's one of those type of players. Obviously, he's the MVP in this league. He dominates dominates in a way that no one else can really replicate in this league, really, in terms of I always say can't jump over a curve. But he's dominating every which way with the dimes and everything, like making his team better. So MVP most valuable player, I think should. But I think the reason why I wouldn't give it to him this year, which I would stop the package. Don't let it get sent to his country, wherever he's going to be at. No disrespect to him, but it's because what Vaughn said. It's because you can't make that list if you're not winning. If you ain't get to a chip, you need to get to a chip. I don't care what anyone says. First of all, Giannis a couple years ago did not. He's making history, but it don't matter because literally. What's his name? Giannis Antetokounmpo literally had the same argument, and they did not give him the MVP a couple years ago.
Say Giannis, yep.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even give him the MVP because of the same exact reason, because they didn't want him to be in that discussion of being an MVP again, and not winning a chip, not even making some noise other than 1 year in the bubble making some noise. Not saying that was a great year for them, but they got swept after that by the Warriors then. You know what I'm saying? And after that, and last year, they just been they got it proven in the playoffs now. It's about that time.
Last year by the Warriors.
Preach, Uncle Manny.
It is regular season. We agree, but it don't matter. LeBron could have won every year. Then Jordan couldn't have won every year. At some point, the narrative is going to be, you can say all stats, all you want, all this and that. But at the end of the day, the narrative plays a role in it. And him not having that historical preference, of him not proving not being a winner yet. If he never won the championship or anything like that, and we look back, he's won 3 straight years and didn't do nothing in the playoffs, that's a big blemish. So I don't think he deserves that. Yeah, if Giannis, LeBron, Mike, Kobe, all them guys didn't get this opportunity, Shaq could have won back-to-back, 2 or 3 in a row too. If these guys didn't get it, I'm not going to all of a sudden just give it to Jokic now because he's dominating and people are not playing. So I got Giannis who can easily get it. I can easily give it to Tatum. And I know their stats, but they're right there. Team-wise, right there. Stats, you can be picky and choosy, but they're all affecting winning on their team. So at the end of the day, and I ain't gonna lie, sneak peek, Embiid's coming for that too. Let him get first. He deserves it too because he dominated the one-on-one matchup when they played each other. Put that boy Jokic in a blender. It could do nothing about him. So, and he got the dub. So, you know what I'm saying? That matters too. So, you know what? It's going to come down the stretch. Don't send the package just yet, Kev. I don't know why we're sending it so quick. All these records are all
Manny,
clean.
preach.
I'm politicking
Does anybody
right
think that? Does anybody think that the Nuggets are going to the Western Conference Finals?
Huh?
You got me.
What?
Okay. Jaevon just said he said, "Oh, you got me." I don't know. I maybe he gets a notification and that's what boots him off. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you got me.
Jaevon. Oh, there he is.
Before we move on, man. Are we gonna let Jaevon finish?
No, Kevin, go ahead, please.
You know, we all talk about what he has to do in the playoffs and what he has to do. If he won the MVP off of them being, I believe, a 6th and a 4th seed, now you're going to tell me that his team's the number 1 team in the Western Conference.
I don't think he should have won last year, see?
I don't think so either because it should be the best player on the best team. But if we gave it to him when he was a 6th and a 4th seed, I believe, there's no way we can't give it to him when he's a 1 seed. And
we gave it to him when he said, quote unquote, he had no help. Now he got all the help. Now we're going to give it to him. I don't know, bro. They switch it every year, which I hate. Literally, the narrative switches every year. Like Kev says, okay, if the way he's playing, would you just give it to him no matter what? No matter just you stamping it, no matter you think he deserves it over
it's already on
the way to Serbia.
It's already there.
Okay, I think it's not clear cut like that. I don't know why it's so clear cut. It's because of the stats. LeBron used to kill it just like this. And they give it to D-Rose. They gave that year was his best year.
D-Rose had a great year that year.
Last year they gave it to they shouldn't have given it to Harden in the Giannis' first year. They should have went Harden. Then they should have went then it should have went Giannis. Then it should have went Jokic. That's how we should be sitting right now. Instead, we got it all topsy turvy. Even Curry could have got the year 3 years in a row if he wanted to.
Kev's like, you gonna give it to the guy that has no bag?
We gotta get
no bag. Can't even dribble for the sidewalk. The last dude in the All-Star game. You're talking about the 2-time MVP being the last dude to be picked in the All-Star game.
Exactly.
What world is that happening?
LeBron, who was his first pick?
It was
No. The starters.
Oh,
Embiid.
I couldn't tell you.
Embiid was his first pick. Embiid was his first pick. I'm pretty sure, and that just shows right there who people think is the man in the league right now. And I'm a Jokic guy over Embiid. I ain't gonna lie, I really was a Jokic guy over Embiid. But I'm just saying, man, people need to hold up and give historical preferences is gonna matter, bro. People care about historical preferences when we look back at it. And he make me look back like an idiot. He wins the 2-3 chips, bro. It's good. He deserved the 3. But if we hold Giannis literally a couple years ago to this, like we didn't give him MVP, you're not winning the playoffs. You're not going deep. You're not getting this MVP. That's literally how because he literally had better numbers, just like Jokic is doing the next year. They held him back with that. So if we're gonna do that to Giannis, we're gonna keep the same standard. We're gonna hold back Jokic. Simple. Sorry, Jokic, we holding you back, bro. I'm holding you back. Simple. I'm holding you back.
Well, it's as simple as, and I want to give a shout out to Rachel Nichols because she was the first mainstream media person that I saw really saying this. But the thing about the NBA MVP award is that it is truly best season, not best player. There should be 2 awards.
No.
There should be an award for the best season because that is what the MVP award has become. It has become best season. And because of what Jokic has done and because he has continued to elevate himself, we're like, hey, if he was good enough 2 years ago and he's just gotten better and better, then he needs to keep winning it. But the thing is the reason why I don't think that Nikola Jokic will win the MVP for the 3rd straight year is I think it's going to come down to that narrative that you were talking about, Gary, because that exact same thing happened to Giannis, where Giannis just kept getting better and better and better. But because at that point, and I think in that third year,
I bet
Giannis
Jokic would agree with me.
I bet Jokic would agree with me.
I agree because if you just watch Jokic's interviews, I watch Jokic's interviews, he always preaches team first. He would say, would you rather get a ring and prove this year or take a loss in the first year and get, an MVP? Obviously he wants to do both. But you know what I'm saying? I bet you wouldn't knock anyone for saying, bro, you haven't won in the playoff yet. You need to get a playoff win. At least a deep. Can you get to a chip? You just get to it. You can lose in the chip. Can you get to a chip? And then we could talk about you getting 3. It's the question is because he's going to get 3, guys. It's not because he's getting his first, second. It's because he's going to get 3 in a row. That's why this whole historic thing is being brought up, really. Or no one would trip on him, really, then.
The Nuggets are going to the semifinals, and they're going to lose.
Yeah.
That's
right
what
there in the book,
everybody
Sean.
That's what everybody is kind of
like assuming. Quote. There's a quote.
Are they going? Does anybody here think that they're going to the Western Conference Finals?
Yes.
Oh no. No.
I think they're going to the Western Conference Finals.
Semis.
We got right now, if I'm going to do it today, right now, I got Denver and I got the Suns. We do it today. My mind might change with the last 23 games right before. We're probably going to do an episode, obviously, right before the playoffs start, who gets in and stuff.
They're beating LeBron?
But if I'm feeling today.
Up with the Lakers? If they get messed up with the Lakers.
Okay,
is LeBron even getting in? Is LeBron even getting into the
play-ins? Go ahead. Let's talk about Lakers. Go ahead. Go ahead, Vaughn.
If they get messed up with the Lakers.
Playoffs, we're going to do the 3-question thing. Lakers getting playoff, play-in, or out? Go ahead. Switch the ticker, Sean.
So the thing, thank you, Gary. Yeah, the thing is about LeBron's injury is that it was revealed today that he has hurt his right foot. He's going to be out for several weeks, and so that's the thing. He's going to be out several weeks. The Lakers. Well, the thing is that the Lakers currently sit at what, like 11 right now, as I pull up the standings. 12. Yeah, so they currently sit at 12. Thank you, Kevin, and I heard you as well, Gary. And so they currently sit at 12 as they're at 29 and 32. Well, D'Lo's last time I checked, D'Lo is hurt too. So good luck, Los Angeles. But
they're gonna get in. I got playing. Say mine.
Okay.
Right now.
All right. Gary says,
Kev, I know, brother. I got Anthony Davis, bro. You showed me last night, bro.
If
Anthony
Davis can give you 27 and 10,
I'm getting false hope, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
30 and 15 hope. Yesterday. If Anthony Davis plays like that, they get in the play.
Kev's being the smart one right now, being the calm one. Like, All right, bro. This literally, if you look at it, what tells you LeBron? He's already said he's not gonna be healthy. What tells you and Davis is gonna be healthy? You know what tells you these things? You actually give real confidence that they're gonna do something. Only confidence I had is LeBron just gonna be talking to him on the sideline, and they're gonna get in the play-in and give that man an opportunity to make something shake in the playoffs.
LeBron ain't missing the playoffs 2 years in a row. He ain't doing it.
Well, if he's injured, then he has a perfect excuse. Even though he just called this the literally the what is it, the most important 23-game stretch of his regular season career.
Mm-hmm.
Zero dark 30, Kev.
Hey, man. He resting
So
up.
Kev, you said out playoffs? No, we right here with that.
Yeah, man. Out of the playoffs, and we got another top lottery pick going to New Orleans.
Damn.
Just
Vaughn,
like that.
What you got?
I got him going to the plan.
I got playing. Shaun, what you writing down?
They out of there. They out of there. They're not even getting in their top 10, bro.
Nah, they want
Cook.
They want the Kings.
Okay. Let me just say this
smoke.
because we were just talking about how LeBron James is now going to be out for several weeks because he got hurt. We already talked about how D'Angelo Russell is currently hurt. And then the name that you guys wanted to bring up was Anthony Davis. We're going to rely on Anthony Davis to stay healthy when he's a one-man band out there and he has to go 150%. And we think that he's not going to just roll an ankle or something. I never, ever, knock on wood, thank you. I never, ever will wish an injury on someone. But it just seems ludicrous to me that we are going to count on Anthony Davis to lead the way, have all the weight on his shoulders, and for him to stay healthy. I mean, he did it once, and they won a title. Will it happen again? I think it's unlikely, but hey, I'm a Kings fan.
Yeah,
so
30 and 15,
my opinion doesn't matter.
Hey, like I said, I just stated the same thing you said, Shaun. You know what I'm saying? Every variable is pointing to no. You guys are right. They shouldn't make it. But I think me, Vaughn, on the limb, we're going to go out there, put a flag. Playing. I think we're going to just step out there real quick.
They get matched up with the Nuggets. Y'all picking the Nuggets still?
LeBron, when I'm say, go read it out, Shaun. Go ahead.
So Manny Singh says LeBron will not be out that long. They will be in the tournament. He said he wants it badly. Okay, well, man,
38-year-old LeBron.
They gotta make it through the play-in first, because are they gonna finish as a top 6 seed?
No,
definitely not, in my
not.
opinion.
All right, you know what? They're gonna make it because literally we're gonna go down a list. We're gonna all right. This is why only chance of this is what's giving me hope, guys. The moves, Rob Pelinka. We've been calling for your name. Shout out to you. What do you call LeBron? Whoever wants credit for that, you take it, because they knocked LeBron for bringing Westbrook. Now the whole team shakes up. They want to give LeBron no credit now. Anyways, whatever. That makes a little sense. You call him a GM one day, then day you don't call him a GM. All right. Anyways, that was my little pet peeve right there. Anyway, so
Jazz,
Rob Pelinka, literally,
Pelicans,
exactly, Vaughn. He made all these little shakeups.
They can't beat them. They can't beat that.
Vaughn, let him finish.
No, you're good. No, he's right though. Vaughn, you're right. You're preaching to the choir. It's all good. Lifts off the games because literally they got Justin Vanderbilt. They got all these guys. But I'm just gonna keep saying him because he's been playing crazy. They've got deep enough guys. They're gonna play hard enough. With Austin Reeves, everyone's gonna be healthy, and I think they're gonna be able to scratch enough games, especially with this good start right here. I think they're gonna scratch enough games without LeBron. I feel this is the first time LeBron actually can sit down and the team's actually doing good when he's on the bench. It's the first time ever probably in a Laker uniform, maybe other than the championship team. Even then, they still need LeBron. They actually have guys who can actually play defense right now and plug and play with LeBron not there. So I think we're gonna go on a limb, but I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it, guys. They're gonna make it. LeBron's gonna.
Right. That's what I'm
saying.
Look
at LeBron said last night. What did the coach say? The coach said, "I don't know nothing about no injury." I don't know. LeBron, he said he's fine. After I know the whole report's coming, but LeBron like to play the narrative. He gotta control the narrative. So I'm on like 2 and he's on 4. I'm just wondering. We gotta have a countdown. This is too funny, guys.
What are you guys trying to win in the battle of who can fall out of the stream the more?
Now you actually told me I had to force myself. That was still good, but I can't see nothing. So I was
you couldn't see or hear us, so you had to leave. Okay. So all right, what's up, Jaevon? So hold on, Jaevon. I got a quick question because the last time when you fell out of the stream, you said, "Oh, here it goes," or something like that. Is that like something that? Oh yeah, oh you got me. So, that's what he said. Thank you, Kevin. So like what? Because you saw it before you fell out of the stream. So like, what is there something that like pops up?
It just goes black. Like everybody freezes and then it just goes black, and I'm like, shit.
You got me.
We gotta fix this, Vaughn. Don't worry. Me too. We gotta fix this together.
On, bro.
That's all good, fellas. And so we shall see what happens. I mean, getting to a couple of our YouTube comments real quick. I just want to say what's up with Soph. And James says, hell no, they ain't making it. FLA. I mean, James, I feel like a lot more people would have taken your opinion seriously if you didn't include those last 3 letters. But I mean, hey. And also shout out to Uncle Manny, who's always participating in our YouTube comments. We greatly appreciate you. And you guys all see the pin comment. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you're watching, even if you're watching for 15 seconds, give us a thumbs up. Really helps us. We really appreciate it. And it continues to help us grow. All right, guys. Well, we're about an hour and 30 minutes in. We got about 30 minutes or less left. And it's my favorite time of the week. It's time for Shaun's Pop. And so Kevin, I didn't hear, it doesn't say that he's muted, but I didn't hear Kevin when he just spoke. But anyways, so after 16 weeks, the scoreboard for Shaun's Pop quiz looks like this. We got Kevin up top with 8. We got Toddy with 7 after that bonus question last week, and we got Garry with 4. Garry, the climb starts now.
Slowly at the top.
I'm actually waiting. I'm like Shannon Sharp. I'm waiting for we restart the do count. Like, we're gonna restart it. That's one way I'm gonna have a chance to come back.
Restart the do.
Ain't no restarting.
Yeah, can I just pay my? We betting on that. I'll just pay my dues so I can restart at some point. Man,
maybe we'll restart in 2024.
Put a case of do on it.
2024.
Maybe we
I'm not to pull a Lakers run.
Apparently. All right, Kevin. We're starting off with you. So, in NBA history, and I forgive me, it's not on the ticker. I didn't have time to put it there, so I'm just going to read it off. In NBA history, there are only 2 players that have recorded 45 or more points, 5 or more assists, and 5 or more threes off the bench in a game over the last 10 seasons. So, 2 players in NBA history in the last 10 seasons have put up 45 points, 5 assists, and 5 threes off the bench in a game.
I got it.
Malik Monk on Friday night was one of those players. Who was the other player in the last 10 years to put up? Okay, Garry, you were first for the. No, Garry, Garry, I got you.
First,
Garry.
Okay.
Garry, you were first for the steal. Jaevon after, but Kevin, this is your question, so I'll repeat it one more time. So there, in the last 10 years, there have only been 2 players to score at least 45 points, 5 assists, and make 5 threes off of the bench. Malik Monk was one of them on Friday. Who is the other player to do that in the last 10 seasons? Kevin, it's time for the answer.
I really think I know this shit. Like, I really think I've seen this clip. I really think I know this clip, and if it's wrong, it's going to be hella wrong. But I'm going to go with Gabe Vincent.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, I love my guy Gabe Vincent, who went to high school in Stockton, played for the Stockton Kings. Unfortunately, it is not Gabe Vincent. Garry, you were first for the
I got
steal.
the popular one, but I'm like, damn, I'm done with scratching.
I don't know how the popular one's gonna work.
We already know the popular one, so I want to put that out there. But then I think Vaughn's gonna get my second one. I'm just gonna go with the popular one, Jamal Crawford.
Fuck
Ding,
you.
ding, ding!
That was my guess, bro. But I was like,
Garry got it right. Jamal Crawford right there.
I was gonna say JR because I think JR had a really good. JR was close to it a couple times.
On bonus. What team did he play for when he did it?
Huh?
It was for the Phoenix Suns.
Clippers.
Oh,
I just know the GOAT on the 6-man is right there, Jamal Crawford.
Sean,
I want to force
was gonna say
scoring a
he
50
did it for the
pieces,
Phoenix
Jamal.
Suns, and you just said it.
Oh yeah, but unless I say it's a bonus question, it doesn't count. So it doesn't matter. I mean, Jaevon, I thought Garry was the one trying to finesse points around here, not you.
I know.
All right.
Gary be trying to. Gary be finessing.
I know. I gotta try, bro. When you in a little deep dirt like me.
Okay, well, Garry, you stole that answer, so you are now up to 5, my friend. Congratulations.
Damn.
Now we move on. Garry now is 2 behind Jaevon for second. So now we're on to Jaevon, who is in second place. So Jaevon, there have been, or the only players with 5 or more 60-point games all time. There are 3 players who have ever done it. One of them is Damian Lillard.
Really? Kevin literally has a list on the side of him. He literally named the list off earlier.
Well, I mean,
all right, go.
He and Kevin, just to be clear, wait, okay, so correct me. Kevin, did you say this exact thing earlier or I thought you said it was the 70-point games. Players who have scored in
Yeah,
70.
it wasn't 60, it was 70.
Okay. That's
Okay.
the difference. All right. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't catch that. Okay, there's a difference.
Okay. So there have been 3 players all time who have scored 60 points or more in 5 games or more. So the only players with 5 or more 60-point games all time. One of them, there's 3 of them. Okay, Gary, for the steal, I got you, but this is Javon's question.
Oh, that was his question.
Yeah. He put his hand up for the steal. So now, Kevin, if you want to steal, you're after Gary. Okay, so Jaevon, there are 3 players in NBA history with 5 or more 60-point games all time. Damian Lillard is one of them. There are 2 more players in NBA history who have 5 or more 60-point games in their career. Name one of those 2 players. Just one. Name one of those 2 players, Jaevon.
I'm gonna say Allen Iverson.
Is your final answer Allen Iverson?
Jeez.
Allen Iverson or Kobe.
No.
What is your final answer, Jaevon?
Well, I get 2. I'm gonna say Allen Iverson. And Kobe.
No, there are
pick
2.
one.
There are 2 players who have done it besides Dame. I just want one name.
AI.
AI is your final answer.
Yeah.
That is incorrect. Gary for the steal.
Oh, I seen this list the other day. Now I forgot, was it Kobe or MJ?
Let me just repeat.
It's
the
Kobe
question.
or MJ, bro. It's Kobe or MJ. I know that for a
I
fact.
don't care who.
No. Let me
it
think.
is.
Go
I
ahead,
want to
repeat
know
the
the
question.
one.
Repeat the question. I'm gonna be.
That's
thinking
why I
about
was
that
going to repeat it, so it gave you time to think. Okay.
now. Right.
In NBA history,
We just
there
start
are
asking Sean
3
questions.
players. I asked you guys to. I mean, Kevin put me on the spot a couple times. He got me. So, in NBA history, there are 3 players who have 5 or more 60-point games all time. Damian Lillard is one of them. There are 2 other players who have done it in NBA history.
I'm going Kobe.
You got it right. Kobe is one of those players right there. So,
Do you have a chance to guess the other guy or what?
yeah. You guys, if you guys want to try to guess the other
Oh, I
guy,
got the
this
other
could
guy
be a
too.
bonus question.
No, whoa.
No, Kevin
Go ahead.
asked first. Kevin asked
Go
first.
ahead, I'll give it to you.
Gary, you got your bonus point for Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant and Damian
I was
Lillard.
trying to make an epic
each-
comeback today, Sean. Man.
Well, yeah, I know. Gary's just trying to stack the points. Gary's trying to walk out of here with 5 points in 1 week. Okay, so Gary, let me just get that point for you. So Gary's up to 6 now. So Kevin, along with Damian Lillard and Kobe Bryant, there is one other player who has more than 5 60-point games in their career. Who's that guy?
Will Chamberlain.
Ding, ding, ding. That had to be the easiest one because Wilt Chamberlain was like, he was putting up he was averaging 50. All right, so Kevin gets the question right. So Kevin is now up to 9.
You made a bonus for no reason. I shouldn't have this 2 chances at the bonus. I ain't gonna lie, but go ahead. Kevin just slicked the point off you, Sean, for sure. You just talking about slicking points. Bond tried to. Kevin passed. I'll go this way, other way.
I mean, the thing is, Gary, is that he was the first person to ask, can we name the other one? I mean, hey, if you want to name the other one, he got it. So Kevin now has 9, Jaevon has 7, Gary has 6, and now
Shout out to Google,
it is
right, Ken?
Kevin's.
Common sense. I thought he was gonna name it. I was like, damn, he's gonna say Will, and I'm like, I have no idea who that dude was.
So yeah, it was Dame, Wilt,
I
and
should have said
Kobe.
Wilt then. Shit.
All right, so now it is Kevin's question, and Jaevon and Gary, you know the rules. If you
No,
want
it's
to
not his question. I wasn't
No,
gonna
it's
say
my
nothing.
question.
Oh no, it actually is Gary. It is Gary.
I stole the first 2.
Yeah, he
the
did.
first,
Come
First one
on,
was
Sean,
me,
you
second
good?
one was
I'm
Sean.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I had it. I'm sorry. I had it
No.
flipped. I'm so sorry. I was going. I forgot that I started with Kevin. I thought I was ending with Kevin. My bad. All right, Gary, this is your question.
I'm stealing it. I put it up
You
first.
see how I'm playing against the judge? The judge right here trying to do me dirty. He's trying to skip me my questions away. I'm messing with you, Sean. Go ahead.
All right, so Gary, there is one player who has averaged the most points in the NBA since January 1st. That player is Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard since January 1st has scored 880 points. So then there's a huge gap. There's a huge gap. And then there's the guy in second place. Who has scored the second most points in the NBA since January 1st? Damian Lillard's first with 880. There's a huge gap. And then there's the guy in second. Who has scored the second most points in the NBA since January 1st? And I will say this. And for Kevin and Jaevon, if you want to steal this, keep this in mind.
Oh, I think I might
You
know.
may not expect this player. This player may surprise you. So,
All right.
Gary, do you have a guess?
I'm gonna say I would guess LeBron, but I'm not because I know he was in the tear in the beginning of January to get the the goal there, but he missed a lot of games. I'm gonna say SGA.
SGA. Final answer.
Yep.
That is incorrect.
Damn.
Kevin, you were first for the steal. Do you have a guess? And another.
What you saying?
Okay, I'll say it. So
Cool.
another thing is that the guy who's in second is not an all-star.
Thanks, Sean. Right? You see, now we're giving hints now all of a sudden.
I just gave you a hint before this.
I would
said
not
you
give
wouldn't have
SGA
expected.
then. That's not a
all
hint
right.
like that. It's all good. Go ahead.
I got you
It's
after
all
Jaevon.
good.
Yep.
Damn.
All right, Kevin.
Oh, bro.
That's crazy, and he's not an all-star.
Ah!
So I'm gonna go and
I got one more
say, fuck, Chris Middleton.
That is incorrect. Jaevon, do you have a guess as you go along with my lovely instrumental?
Jalen Brunson.
Ding, ding, ding. That is
Let's
correct.
go,
It is
baby!
Jalen Brunson.
I was gonna guess Cam Thomas. I don't know why.
Jalen Brunson has scored 687 points
I knew that
since
shit,
January 1st.
Doesn't-
There is the stat right there. And as you guys can see, I'm getting all of my questions from StatMuse.
From
So if you wanna-
StatMuse, and I was
if you
gonna
wanna
follow- I was
do-
gonna
but
follow
I
them
follow
If you
rules.
want to
StatMuse.
do a little studying beforehand, don't look at StatMuse during the quiz. That's just straight up cheating. But if you want to do a little
No,
studying
not.
beforehand, maybe check out StatMuse.
Nah, we don't need to study. It's better when it's pop quiz. So.
Hey, shout out to my boy Kenny, Lefty World.
Shout out to Kenny. All right, guys. Well, now let's get to our last few topics
Well, hold
here.
on. What's the score now? We tied up now? Was it?
Yeah.
No,
So,
not tied up.
let me read the official score. So, after 17 episodes, Kevin has 9 points, Jaevon has 8 points, and Garry has 6.
I really
So,
did,
hey,
man.
It's
Gary.
lonely at the top.
Garry, you
calling
cut
the
that
comeback.
deficit down. Garry picked up 2 points this week, and Jaevon.
I should have picked up 3, but it's all good.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right, guys. Now let's move on to the NFL as we close things out. We got about 20 minutes left, and also shout out to Manning. We appreciate you, and also
Real
my guy
quick,
James. What's up?
Y'all want to talk? Vaughn, did you watch the fight? Jake Paul?
Oh, we were gonna get to that at the end.
Okay, go ahead. Go. I thought you said
That-
last topic. Go ahead.
It was gonna be
My bad.
sandwiched in at the end after the NFL.
Okay,
and-
got
You
you. Go
lost
ahead, do
me,
your
buddy.
thing.
Well, and also, yeah. So we'll get to Jake Paul real quick at the end. But getting to the NFL now, the Bears, who have the number 1 overall pick, thanks to former head coach Lovie Smith, they are potentially leaning towards trading the number 1 overall pick. And all the rumors have been: do they keep Justin Fields out of the Ohio State University, or do they draft Bryce Young out of Alabama? That's been the question. So, Kevin, I'm going to throw it to you first as the other distinguished Buckeyes fan on this panel.
Hold on,
I
I
was
got
just
a question for Kev, and I got a question for Sean.
Yeah,
The
go ahead.
The Ohio State guys. Is Justin Fields
Whoa,
better?
quotations.
Hold
You over
on.
here going like this.
Hold on. I got a question. Is Justin Fields better than CJ Stroud?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Damn,
Yes.
Kevin had to think about it.
Yes.
Kevin had to think
Yes.
about that.
If I have to take, if I'm taking
For
one and I have
NFL,
both of them
not
on
the
there,
better
I'm
Buckeye
taking
player.
CJ. Just because I feel like CJ's a better passer.
So I mean, I do think age
I'll
has a
take
lot
Justin
to do with
in the
it.
NFL.
Age has a lot to do with it, but let's not forget that these two guys were on the same roster and Justin Fields was the starter. I mean, I think if CJ, I know, and that's why I prefaced it by saying age was a factor. But I mean, if he was really him, Justin Fields would have been on the bench just like he was at Georgia.
6 of them and beat Trevor Lawrence.
Sean ain't lying.
I mean, I'm
I mean,
just saying.
CJ should have beat the best defense ever, but you know the kicker pissed down his leg.
So our guy James says in the YouTube comments, he says CJ Stroud was the better draft prospect. James, I would love for you to elaborate on that a little bit more and put that into the
Or
YouTube
because
comments.
it's dry quarterback year.
CJ had a
no,
4-4.
Dry quarterback year.
Yeah, Kevin, I was thinking the same thing.
Like, what are you saying right now? Repeat the topic on the bottom. If there was a guy, Heemster, a guy who was really the guy, you think they wouldn't be trading for him? Do you think they'd be sending him out?
They got a guy. That's the only thing.
But he's not. He still needs some things to work on. Kev, you just said passing. You just mentioned some. He needs some things to work. So if they had a guy, Patrick Mahomes,
there's
you don't think
one
they'd be
next year,
taking
though.
him. I know y'all think you CJ Stroud always got your guy, but there was a guy. My regular college football stuff, I would have been hearing that at least. There was a guy. Everyone's saying there's not a guy in this month.
There is no Trevor Lawrence in this draft, Gary. But this draft is
that's what I'm
loaded
saying. Okay,
with QB.
that's all I said.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I said. Okay, I meant like a start, like a number one guy. There might be a
Gary,
deep QB draft.
Gary, there have only Gary. The point I just want to get across real quickly, and I'm sorry for cutting both you and Jaevon off, but like there have only been like 3-4 of those guys the entire like time that the NFL draft has been a televised thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Andrew Luck, John Elway, Trevor Lawrence, Peyton Manning. Those are the 4 guys right there that are like up in that
number
upper
1
echelon
picks,
where.
But like those top 10 picks that might got picked lower, but we felt higher than, you know what I'm saying? We felt high on them.
But you just made my point for me though, is that going into the draft, those guys who are like far and away, as you were saying, himster, like far and away, number 1, it sounds so much worse when I say it. when you have that guy who is the far and away number 1, like, okay, that would lead the Bears to trading the pick. But as you were saying, there's guys like a Patrick Mahomes who gets drafted 10th overall, and they prove themselves to be him eventually. And this draft class, even though this draft class doesn't have the top of the top guy who is a generational talent, doesn't mean that this quarterback class isn't stacked, because from front to back it is.
I didn't say it wasn't stacked, but I said
Kevin and Jaevon are going back and forth about it every day in our Instagram chat. I'm sorry, Gary, go ahead.
No, I agree with everything you said. No, you didn't say anything different than me. I agree. There's no guy in this draft like that. There might be a deep quarterback draft. There's no guy in this draft that they should be trading for, picking over Justin Fields. So yeah.
Okay, and so just getting to a couple more of these YouTube comments before we throw it over to Jaevon. Manny says, I would trade the pick, but Fields hates playing outdoors in Chicago.
He did say that, yeah.
That's interesting. And then our guy James, he elaborated a little bit more. He said, Fields coming out of college was considered a first-read QB, which is one of the main reasons why QBs don't succeed at the next level. Stroud doesn't have those concerns, but still has accuracy problems. And then James also goes on to say, I don't think it's worth it to trade Fields for Stroud, though might as well keep the QB you took that's gotten better and take Jalen Carter at 1 or trade the pick. So, Jaevon, if you were the Chicago Bears, what would you do and why?
It's kind of a toss-up. I think Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this draft. Now, would I trade? I think he's a better passer than Fields right now, so to say. But at the same time, you could get a haul for the number 1 pick and still draft a quarterback in this draft. It just depends on what the Bears are kind of willing to trade for, or what they're kind of willing to get. If Houston kind of calls you, I kind of would think about, what I can get the most for and still probably kind of get a quarterback. You're looking at, we kind of heard the Colts kind of come out and say, yeah, I like that Alabama quarterback. Well, how much do you really love him? Are you trading, how many first-round picks? I mean, like we said, we saw the Niners trade 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance a few years ago. Are the Colts kind of willing to give up that type of draft capital, and then they kind of drop down to 4 and maybe draft a Jalen Carter or Will Anderson if he's still there? So it kind of just all depends. Me personally, if I had the opportunity to draft a Bryce Young, I think I would probably draft him. Saying this to speak, I think that Bryce Young is probably better than Justin Fields right now. Now, going back to what Uncle Manny was saying, the weather, probably he's not really used to playing in that super duper cold weather in Chicago. It's a brick outside, as he has said several times. But I mean,
they might get a new one.
The last quarterback that Chicago's really had was going all the way back to Jesus, how long?
Jim McMahon. Jim
McMahon. So you can look at the situation.
Smoking Jay.
Like if Justin Fields would go to an offensive-minded coach, would he be a little bit better? I would think so. But right now he's playing for Eberflus. He's a defensive guy, and their team sucks. So I just think personally, if you were to throw Bryce Young in the situation, I think the Bears would be better.
Okay.
So
Kevin,
you would pick a quarterback and get rid of Justin Fields?
Yeah. There's a bunch of guys that would love Justin Fields' services, like the Jets. I mean, they're just teams out there.
You think there's a big difference between those two quarterbacks?
The Jets could have had him.
The Niners.
Stop
Nah,
it,
we
Kevin.
don't stop this blasphemy right here. The Eagles.
We got a quarterback.
Okay.
I know y'all don't understand what that looks like or means, but we got a quarterback.
Okay.
Well, what do you mean, Kevin? We got 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly. That means you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you ain't good.
I thought Garry was going to be the one to pipe in with that one.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to hit me with that one. Yeah.
It's okay. Kev was on top of it. Right? I need to say it.
Yeah.
I
So
would take
Kev,
Bryce, but sorry, I don't mean to cut anybody off, but kind of to finish everything out. If I were D'Amico Ryans, I would go up to get the number 1 pick and draft Bryce.
And Kevin, before I get your response on this, something that was brought up that I thought was really intriguing that I didn't think about is the fact that Lovie Smith absolutely tanked the Texans' chances to get that number 1 overall pick. Like, it has another element to it because, like, a lot of people were saying, like, is it such a big deal? Because, yeah, the Bears are number 1, but the Texans are 2, and the Bears aren't going to take a QB, are they? They're not going to do that. But now the Bears have that leverage where the Bears, an NFC North team, would be much more likely to trade the number 1 overall pick to the AFC South and the Indianapolis Colts, something that the Texans would never, ever consider doing within their own division. So, Kevin, what do you think about all of that and what the Bears should do here?
You know, the Bears have $100 million in cap space, so they have a lot of moves to go in. So I feel like trading this number 1 pick is only going to add to what they can bring in. Like Toddy mentioned, or I don't think he mentioned this, but I think Justin Fields could be the guy there. I think he just has to have the correct weapons around him. Like Claypool was a big name coming out, but we kind of see him simmer out.
Mooney's that guy, though.
I know that's Gary's guy, and I know Mooney is, cool on straight routes and fades and running real fast, but he's not catching nothing over the middle, bro. They need to bring him in a true number 1 guy. You saw what a number 1 guy did for AJ Brown. Okay, anyways, for AJ Brown, we saw what AJ Brown did for Jalen Hurts. We saw what Stephon Diggs did for Josh Allen. I'm not saying Justin Fields is on that level, but just a number 1 receiver to come in there and really demand the ball and to put that trust in a young guy to help him build that chemistry. So they have a lot of things they can do, but definitely I think they need to trade the number 1 pick. I think Justin Fields is the guy. And if they're going to trade anyone, like Shaun mentioned, they're going to trade it to the AFC. And I think they're going to end up trading to the Colts. So
I just think that, Kev, if they were to get guys to want to go there, they would have to draft them. I don't think like you said, they have $100 million in cap space. Yeah, but who wants to go to Chicago?
NFL is different, though.
Money talks.
People is all good. Yeah.
Lamar would.
But
they'll give him a guaranteed contract.
Exactly. So if I'm hopping in real quick, Shaun, I think they should trade the pick in because this team needs a lot more than just one piece right now. They need to first of all fix the O-line for Justin Fields so he could actually use his skills to an advantage like we're seeing now in the NFL. It's not like back in the days where like, oh, don't run. No. It's okay to run. We just need you to make sure you're running and efficiently and using your brain, being a smart and efficient runner. Simple as that. We can get you to design run plays, which then, like Kevin said, could open up this throwing game and give him a couple more weapons. I still believe in Claypool, even though we didn't see no spark from him. We see a lot of players go to different teams and are good, solid wide receivers, Kev, that still, make a little impact at the end. So, all right, maybe we can just – what did you say?
I said, get the bias out your heart. I know he's a former Steeler, but Claypool.
No, there's no way bias. Aren't you kind of head scratching? No, be honest though. I ain't gonna like Claypool. I like him as a player and stuff like that. I wish he actually stayed, but obviously he wasn't the guy. Cool. He's solid. I'm not saying he's solid, but look, he put some great numbers, good solid numbers up his freshman year with Big Ben. So you would think that you have a young quarterback that you would put solid numbers.
He's big mid, Garry. He's big mid.
You blame it on him, or you blame it on big mid Justin Fields now?
He was mid in Pittsburgh.
No, he wasn't. He actually.
No, he was not. The first year he was doing number 1 receiver. What are you talking about?
Yeah. On a bad team.
Oh no, bad team. We made the playoffs.
No, yeah.
All right, Shaun, Kev, I don't want to hear the bad team. Hold on now. You just came out the gutter. Don't be talking like bad team.
Well, Garry, when we look back on that team in its entirety, considering that you started 11-0 and then you completely flamed out, I would classify that as a bad team.
All right.
Yeah,
we faced KC. We faced KC too. Everyone got whacked by KC, as you know, Kev. Anyways.
What?
We all got whacked by KC in the playoffs. Okay. Anyways. But anyway, they should trade the pick. They should trade the pick, get deeper, use a cap space, give them some weapons, bring some offense, and then draft some defense and get that stronger. So I think for their overall team to get some more picks and maneuver it that way, keep trading down to get a haul, I think that'd be good for them.
Javon, close us out because we got to keep.
Kevin's looking for something. I feel
Yeah,
like.
no, hold on.
Kevin's looking for.
Yeah,
I see him
no.
searching.
Claypool, bro, is trash. He has been in the
Last
league
year.
for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and he hasn't sniffed 1,000 yards, bro. He's not even getting 80 catches a year. This dude
Exactly.
is
What till he gets some
mid.
catches?
He's
mid.
cool.
I didn't say he was.
Bro.
I didn't say he was great. All
Good
man.
number
I said
two.
he was. I agreed he was mid.
He's not
But
even
I'm
a number
saying-
2.
No,
on a
you
good
didn't.
team.
No, you didn't.
I
You
said he's
did not
solid.
agree he was mid.
I said he was solid.
2,
What else you want me to say? Mid, solid, same thing. I'm
And
just
that
saying
first
that.
year we were talking about, homeboy.
Oh, but when that trade happened, what'd y'all say? Y'all, oh, Justin Fields got a guy. He gonna throw the
Didn't
ball.
they give
What was
him? Did they give him a first rounder for him?
Second.
Justin Fields wasn't
Oh,
doing
okay.
nothing with him. Come on, bro, do something. And that only thing that was there to fall. I think they're actually gonna have a good year together next year. And when they
Yeah.
fix the O line and things of that nature, so we're over here blaming these two guys when really the O line was not even good enough to even have a gut time to play.
I'm
Sean,
blaming you for pushing
Sean,
this
how are you gonna
narrative.
be in the? How are you gonna be on the pod and comment, bro? Where you going?
Like I said,
Because I wanted you to know he's
What are you
mid.
doing?
like I said for what Uncle
And
Amanda
pin your
said,
own comment, bro. That don't even make
if
sense.
they want to get better at receiver, they gotta draft a guy because
Yeah,
no one wants to
I
go to-
agree.
The
Yeah.
last time the Bears had a solid receiver was like Brandon Marshall, and we
Yeah.
all know that was a while ago.
Who was that
I
trade
think-
last year that now didn't do good? He went to the Rams. I'm forgetting his name right now. He got injured as well. But
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson,
He was
yeah.
cool.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean,
But
he was
went
doing
to-
putting up big
he went to
numbers
LA
though.
and did nothing. He went to LA and he did nothing. So yeah.
I hate y'all.
Just for
He's
our
mid.
audio-only
Wait.
listeners,
He's
Kevin and I
mid.
have both jumped into our.
But
YouTube
next year when he
comments
goes,
just
if
to
he goes
let Garry
crazy,
know.
they ain't gonna be talking about no mid.
Claypool
In the
Ah.
XFL?
Oh, now Kenny, you getting disrespectful.
I'm just saying, he ain't about to go crazy in Chicago. They about to bring somebody in to go
Alright.
crazy.
All
He's
right,
about
Mr.
to go
Eagle.
crazy for those DC
I know
defenders.
you're a
Ooh,
little
I
wounded
can't wait.
still.
Mac McClung in Spain and Claypool in the XFL. Man, that's just going to be good. All right, guys. Well, we're running out of time. So, Kevin, I want to throw it back to you for this one. Today, your rivals, the Washington
this Kevin's
Commanders.
boy.
Yeah, this is his boy.
This
I
is
mean,
Kevin's boy.
that's why I'm throwing it to him first. Today, the Washington Commanders, the
Talking about
NFC
lower than
East
mid.
rivals. Oh, I mean, this is below mid. Come on.
Hey, y'all
This
was
is-
killing
Whoa,
that
whoa,
this
he
boy
was
on
an MVP candidate. Claypool
y'all-
ain't got
Gracie-
nothing.
would-
grass
y'all
and
would kill
green.
that this boy on your team.
That's Kevin. All it is just a steeper fall. That's all it is. And so, anyways, I mean, Kevin, I'm gonna let you say your piece. The Commanders, they released Carson Wentz today, and by releasing him, they saved over $26 million on the salary cap, getting rid of Carson Wentz. As I believe Kevin is now standing up to show us his beautiful Carson
my
Wentz
God.
merchandise.
Hey, man,
that
I
I'm
love
sure.
you, dog. Hey, man.
Throw that
I
in
love
the
you,
trash.
player. You all good, dog. Don't let them worry about it. Don't let the haters hate, man. We
Yeah,
gonna
where
be
you
back.
going? Where's he
I know
going?
you're not wearing that no more. I know that you haven't touched
The
that one time.
Steelers.
That
That's what I
thing,
was
that
saying.
jersey,
Yeah, what about
that
it?
jersey has not seen the light of day for 4 years.
But I
I don't know-
mean,
y'all know if
you
y'all-
know, it sucks to see his career go like this. You know, coming off of arguably one of the greatest seasons for a quarterback, he's going to be MVP. You know, and then it's unfortunate torn ACL, but you know, it's been on a downward spiral. I think he's really gotten a bad rep. The Colts team was always kind of mid,
No one likes
but
him.
we blame him for them losing to the Jags, even though the Colts were still mid after they got a new quarterback. And you know, like I mentioned in the last podcast, Washington is where football players and coaches go to die. So give him another chance, man. And even if he has to be
Another
a glorified backup, even if he has to be
Another
a glorified
one?
backup to prove his chance, I think he can play, man. And I don't know
How
why
many
Garry
chances
over there
he
laughing.
Hey,
We watch.
like you
we
said,
go here.
get that love at
Carson
your heart,
Wentz
kid. Like you told me
signs to
earlier,
the
get the love at your
Pittsburgh
heart.
Steelers,
They're
and
gonna take a
then
look at him.
exactly, I know they are
Yeah.
Who?
because they got Kitty
Steelers.
no hands. They got Kitty two gloves.
Yeah, he goes throwing the game winners at the end of the year, getting us to the.
I mean, you only won what 7 games?
I don't know. He did a 2-minute drill, which I seen your guy couldn't do in the Super Bowl. But anyways,
Right.
Kenny Pick was watching them.
Wow.
He
Wow.
Kenny
I
Pick was
seen him
watching
do
the
a
whole
2-minute drill.
playoffs.
Wait till he gets a start next year.
Daniel
Fresh.
Jones was in the playoffs, and Kenny Pickett.
All right, watch next
Mm.
year, y'all. We're gonna be watching next year.
Kenny Pickett's not that good. I think.
What
Brock
makes you
Purdy was in the
he-
playoffs.
Yes.
Exactly, with a
Kenny
great
Pickett
team.
went first round. Kenny Pickett
Great
went first
team.
round.
He did go first round. Okay, he's his first year. He played half a season.
Hey,
not
bro,
that good.
I'm just saying.
All right.
dog.
All right, so
All right.
okay, let me hold on. Let me refocus this conversation though, because
They
Uncle
hating now,
Manny,
watch.
Uncle Manny, he's right though that Carson Wentz has had his 9 lives, and so
I know. Kev knows for sure it's done. He just because he got his jersey.
okay, well that's
here.
Gary, that's what I wanted to ask. What is the next step for Carson Wentz? Does he become
Join
just
Fox.
a backup quarterback? No, why would Fox want him? Why would Fox
man.
want him?
He's not going
Join
to retire.
Fox.
Okay, the disrespect is getting out of hand.
ESPN.
He's way better than a
Go
lot of
join
backup quarterbacks.
RG3
He
next
is
to him.
not
RG3 has
going
very
into the
great
booth.
commentary. I like his RG3.
Okay,
He's a
Kevin,
backup?
go ahead.
He can't be a backup. He'd be crying too much.
What do you mean
Go
he
ahead,
can't
Gary.
be a backup?
He couldn't
can
be a backup for you.
bro. For
Y'all
you
literally let him
you
go.
to say
You
he
guys
needs to
are
go to
talking at
Fox
the
is
exact same time.
insane.
TikTok.
That is
What's
insane.
going on TikTok?
There are so many. You're telling me if I could look up every backup quarterback, we could go back and forth and be like, is he better than Carson?
No.
He
But
can
does he
be a
want
backup,
that?
but
Does
for
he
him
want
to go to
that?
Fox, he
could
ain't
be a
got no
backup, but does
choice.
he want that?
He better start practicing how to hold that damn PAT kit.
No, exactly.
Gary.
I don't think you. Oh, he just
Gary.
said he wants him to hold a PAT kick.
Backup quarterback does.
I was kidding with that, but if you're gonna make him hold the PAT kicker, then he might as well go join Pat McAfee's show right now.
Don't no one want to hear Carson Wentz talk.
No. Yeah, that's the difference.
His literally his teammates don't want to hear him talk either, Kev. His teammates don't want to hear him talk either. That's why y'all let him go. You know how you should do? You should light the jersey on fire. Go get you a Nick Foles jersey. Light the jersey on fire.
Go get you a Nick Foles jersey. Nick Foles played like 3 games that season into the playoffs. What you want a Nick Foles jersey for?
Wait, did Nick Foles win you on the ring? Am I saying the wrong name?
He played in the playoffs, but
Did I saying the wrong name? Am I saying
No,
the
it
wrong
wasn't.
name?
No,
It wasn't
Gary,
Foles?
you're correct.
Oh yeah, then yeah, okay, then yeah. What do you mean? Why? Oh, now we're disrespecting the guy who won you the chip, who took you there, who beat Brady. Man,
I understand he has a statue, bro, but we had a really good team, bro. Any of us could have won and played quarterback.
My hands are tied.
That's so funny. Repeat what you say, Kev.
But he did beat Brady, so you got to give him his credit.
You got a statue. He beat Brady. He won 4 playoff games, but we like Carson Wentz.
He won 3.
Hey, but hey, do you guys remember when Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate halfway through a season? That was a
halfway, not halfway, way more than halfway.
I know it was like 3/4 of the way. Yeah,
15. Y'all better do the math.
Sorry, my bad.
I don't even know if that's right.
Why did he get back to Kev?
he said that with some moxie,
Kev,
like he knew it for a fact.
I don't want someone to fact check
the whole time. We're over here just talking shit the whole time. But be honest though, Kev, you really think what went wrong with him? You've been following him a lot. You're obviously a fan. What do you think went wrong with him?
You know, if I feel like for anybody, and even in the working world, for you to put in 16 games and for you to sit there and watch the person under you take what you did and win at the highest level, it's really hard to bounce back from that. You know, we paid him that max dollar guarantee contract to be the future of Philadelphia. Then he got hurt again. So I feel like his confidence really got wrung. And then, I feel like he's just got a bad deck of cards, man. You expect him to go to the Colts and the Commanders and do something. They've been in quarterback purgatory for a whole long time before Carson, and they're going to be in quarterback purgatory a long time after Carson. I know Toddy up there in the top right is a Sam Howell believer now, but that's quarterback hell. That's what quarterback's going to die. And like we're doing, what are we just talking about? The Colts trading up for the number 1 pick. It's just 2 bad situations. He just needs to find a good situation. I don't know if he'll ever be able to be a starter again, but he can definitely be a backup on a good team. He'd be a backup on the Niners.
Can he flip it anywhere? No. He's not the guy, but he's a backup. I agree. I was messing with him.
He'd be the guy in Pittsburgh.
Fuck no. I don't even cuss on here. Sorry, guys, but there's a fucking
Hey, Gary. Yay, Gary's
That's probably my first cuss word on here, but I had to say
Gary said a bad word earlier in the year, and I caught it when I was on the way here.
All right, two. I try my best not to, but yeah, no, that's a F no on that one. I do not bring that mess over here. Trust me. We don't need no weak-minded players over here. No disrespect, Carson. No weak-minded players and no purple and black. What y'all thinking?
We're
not good. We're gonna let that slide
right there.
He said purple and black.
I'm over here thinking the Kings. No, I'm over here looking at the thing. I hate you, Kev, for pointing that out. I'm over here looking at the Kings thing, and I say purple.
I'm surprised that even got through, bro. If I would have said the
That
Eagles
was
were red,
messed up.
the
Yellow
whole
and black,
chat
yeah.
would have went crazy.
I think that there's some teams that look at him. I don't think that he believes that he's a backup quarterback. I think Carolina could look at him. The Saints could look at him. The Raiders. I mean, there's just teams out there that are just have no option, and they're just like, well, I mean, I think do the Steelers bring him in? Maybe, possibly. For
Bro,
a
stop
backup
bringing that up.
situation?
He's not coming to the
I'm-
Steelers.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait to see that tweet.
Bro.
I can't wait to see
Bro,
this
you're
in the
over bringing
chat.
up nonsense right now, Vaughn. We're
I
not
mean,
bringing
even
him
the,
in.
even the even
If he
Tampa
wants
Bay
to,
might even
if he
take a
wants to
look at
sit
him.
there and write notes and bring my guy Kenny Pickett some water and some Gatorade, go ahead.
I don't think the end is for Carson Wentz yet. I think there are teams out there that are desperate for quarterback that want a cheap bridge quarterback that can maybe win you
Niners?
6-7 games.
I keep saying the Niners.
Like I
You keep
said,
throwing the Steelers out there.
in all seriousness, I mean, we went to the NFC Championship last year, but I don't think that I don't think that the end is near for Carson Wentz. I think that there are teams out there that'll be like, do we take him and use him as a bridge? He's kind of in that bridge quarterback gap year that teams usually do. Like, we're not really going to lose. Like, you could argue maybe even
He should be a Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's why I feel like that he's kind of becoming now.
If he could become a Fitzpatrick, put his pride aside and help all these teams, yeah. I don't know what we need help him for. What they gonna help with? He ain't proving nothing, but all right. Anyways.
Well, I think that my guy James, who I'll be seeing on Sunday for the AEW pay-per-view in San Francisco, I think he hit the nail on the head. Bring him to the Las Vegas Vipers. They're 0-2 right now. They need some help. He could get the AJ
That's
McCarron
even
formula.
worse.
AJ
than
McCarron, hear me out. Hear me out. AJ McCarron, he could have been a backup in the NFL still, but he decided to go to the XFL. Why? Because he wanted to become a starter. He wanted to become a starter. He wanted his kids to watch him play. Carson Wentz, the Las Vegas Vipers are 0-2. Shout out to our guy, Mister. They're gonna get it turned around. But hey, maybe the turnaround can happen sooner if Carson Wentz and hey, that was like number 7 for Jaevon tonight. Of him falling out of the broadcast. But anyways, we're getting to the end here. So guys, let's wrap things up and let's get to Jake Paul losing to Tommy Fury by a split decision. Jaevon, I think you might have been the person who was the most excited for this fight with Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. As Jake Paul, he lost his very first fight by a split decision. And Jaevon, you were saying earlier that you lost some money. So tell us some more about that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jake Paul. I mean,
bet on Jake Paul.
Yeah, I bet on the Disney Channel kid.
Did you bet on this celebrity basketball game? You bet on people that don't play the sport? They're just out there having a good time?
He was
a bunch of rich
there.
people doing rich activities?
The public,
the Miz for MVP.
Yeah.
The public got me. He was the favorite. Tommy Fury is an actual boxer. But if you look, I was looking at like Tommy Fury and like who he fought. He ain't fought nobody. I mean,
Tommy Fury's a reality star.
Than Jake Paul.
So I mean, it is what it is. If you kind of just watch the fight, he didn't really win any rounds besides.
Say if you actually watch the fight.
Besides like the third round, he only won like the third round and the round which was the last round, where he got the knockdown. So I mean, yeah, even so was like, what the hell were you thinking betting on Jake Paul? But I mean, it made sense just because
he would have won you money before this, John.
Who his trainer was, guys he were beating. So I mean,
Nate Robinson, that sold you.
No, it was like Tyron Woodley's and it was just better opponents than who Tommy Fury was beating. So that's kind of what I was going off of.
I don't know about that. I don't know
just
about that.
If you just watch the fight, it was just all bad. Like Jake was kind of just he was lowering his head and he was trying to go for the overhand right like every single time. He just kept getting tagged. He kept getting tagged by the jab the whole entire fight. So Tommy Fury was obviously the better technical fighter. Jake was just kind of just swinging wild, grabbing him, and trying to go for the knockout blow, and it never really kind of happened. So, congrats, Tommy Fury, I guess.
And I will say that for my perspective, I actually legitimately watched this fight. I had 2 of my friends over to watch this fight, like it was legit and everything,
Shaun?
Kevin. And I didn't say I bought it, but anyways, and so I did watch this fight, and one thing I will say about it is going into it, I actually found myself for the very first time rooting for Jake Paul because he actually earned my respect. I used to really dislike the Paul brothers, but especially his brother Logan coming into WWE and actually like doing something and actually making something of himself. And then also, Nah, but he fought for the championship, and then Jake Paul, he's coming into boxing and he's made it his own, and so they've earned my respect. But the one thing about it though is that the reporter for that broadcast, he very clearly asked both fighters before the fight. He said, "Are you going in at 100%? Is there anything holding you back? Anything?" And both of them said, "No, I'm good to go. I'm ready, 100%. Jake Paul even had a childish little laugh. He was like, and then he ended up losing by split decision. And then after the fight, he was saying, "Oh man, I got sick. I hurt my foot." Every excuse.
I don't think.
But I will say I thought it was pretty funny. Jake Paul on his Instagram today, where he was rocking out to Olivia Rodrigo. He was asking Logan Paul if he could be his WWE teammate. And he was even laughing because, yeah, he lost, but he won $30 million this weekend. So,
I'll
Kevin,
be crying to the bank.
Oh, of course. Kevin, you seem like the biggest doubter of all of this. So give us your thoughts on it.
Like I said, man, you wouldn't put on a bet on the NBA celebrity game. They're just celebrities out there trying to be professional athletes. I know Toddy mentioned the guys that Jake Paul's fought, Jake Paul, and yeah, he's fought a whole bunch of dudes. He's a boxer trying to fight UFC guys. Yeah. And now he comes against some real competition, man, and I saw the numbers from the fight, and it wasn't even close. So, Jake was, overmatched, and it was shown. I saw a clip that they made a bet talking about winner takes all, loser makes nothing, and he lost all his money, and now he looks like a damn fool. But like Shaun mentioned, the Paul brothers will never kind of disappear. They'll be back in a couple months training for another fight, and we'll revisit this conversation, and Toddy will lose some more money. So we'll just keep going.
Dang, Kev.
Well, yeah, and Gary, before I get your thoughts
Kev
on
doesn't like the celebrity fights. So I'm hearing. No. Are you cool with them? Like, you'd rather just keep celebrity on celebrity? You'd rather you cool with that? Or you just don't?
How people get hurt. That's how people get hurt, Gary.
Yeah, but that's their own risk. They're doing it for themselves. They're doing it for the money. They're doing it for the bag.
We ain't heard from Nate Robinson since.
Yeah,
that was his choice,
ends careers.
Yeah, but he ain't hooping likely no more. Hey, what are you gonna say, Shaun? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. Actually, I kind of forgot my train of thought, to be honest. It must not have been that important. That's my fault. No, you're good. The thing I was going to say about it, though, I do remember now, is that, Kevin, you are spot on that they agreed in the pre-fight press conference to do all or nothing. Jake Paul was so cocky that he bet the Fury family, and then it was Tommy's dad who actually agreed to it. But the thing I'm confused about is I thought it was the same thing, Kevin, where it was all or nothing. Jake Paul walks out with nothing if he doesn't win. But apparently Jake Paul walked out with $30 million. So I guess it wasn't all or nothing for Jake Paul.
That's one of those shit, talk shit. Yeah. That's just the talking shit type stuff. You know what I'm saying? No one want to put their bag out there, fight for the night, and leave with nothing. Come on now. Let's be honest.
That wouldn't be a wise decision. So Gary,
that's to sell the pay-per-views that Shaun's not buying. All right, this is what I think. I agree with Kev. I'm an entertainment guy, Kev. I'm an entertainment guy. What are we doing right now? We provide entertainment. I like to see once in a while these guys fight. Okay, I agree with Shaun when he first started. I was rooting against the Paul brothers because they were facing some really cool athletes, and I was going for the athletes. I was going for the guys who used to trying to hop in this sport and make it fun. One thing cool about boxing, there's levels to this stuff. You could tell from the greats, obviously, but there was one sport that it is a celebrity type game, but you can actually go in there and you can have a cool, interesting fight. Even though it might not be high-level boxing and things of that nature, you can make it entertaining. And that's one thing I think I thought I was paused for a second. You guys were all stuck at one spot.
Nope, you're good. You haven't stopped. You're good.
All right, I'm just making sure. And one thing I do like is that they're entertaining fights, Kev. I'm not going to ask one thing I like. I don't like – that's so simple. And I really think, like you said, you named Vaughn, this is his first quote-unquote real boxer. Like they say, he's basically – he literally said, "I brought grace to my name" and stuff like that. I was like, bro, slow down, bro. You literally beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's solid, cool. I got to give him respect, Kev. Yeah,
he was
he's not fighting boxers, but he still beat people that you beat. I wouldn't give him no credit as in a real life boxer, but I'm gonna give him credit for this, bro. I'm gonna give him for moving away from his house, putting money where his mouth is, getting a whole full-time training staff. If Kev right now dropped everything, said, "Y'all, I'm about to be a boxer," and literally try to do it for 3 years straight, we're all gonna give you credit, Kev, and that's what I think I'm gonna give Paul. That's one thing I would knock him. I wouldn't knock him sometimes how he goes, but I think that's how he gets us to listen. That's how we're talking about him, because he got people who hate him and who love him, just like Floyd used to do. Really, I really feel like he learned the game from Floyd. Literally, I feel like they literally helped him. Make people hate you and love you. That's how you get the most money and the most name at your butt for your name, But him actually trying to be a real boxer, we'll see. He put the work in. This fight in particular, I like the fights, but this fight in particular was a good fight. Jake lost his fight. It was a split decision for sure. Only thing really had him was the last one. He knocked him down, but this was an easy Tommy Fury win. I would say it was about 5-3. A lot of people would say 6-2, but I would say 5-3, and I think Jake Paul got more. But I think if he comes back, it'll be a cool rematch. I want to see a rematch, Kev. Vaughn, put some money on Jake this time. I flip guys. I used to hate this fool, and I want to see the circus continue. I want to see the circus continue. What am I saying?
I for one am looking forward to the
Kev's
rematch
done with the
without a doubt.
circus. He said, "Fuck this."
Yeah, Kevin said he's done, and
because they don't
Uncle
give us the
Manny-
boxing matches we need no more, Kev. Only that gives us the matches is UFC. They're the only people that give us the matches we want to see. Boxing doesn't do that, so except
Well,
that
it's
tank
like-
fight, we don't like that.
Yeah, well, it's just like Uncle Manny said. It's just entertainment at the end of the day. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for episode number 17. If you guys are tuned in on YouTube, make sure to give us a like. It really helps us out, helps us grow. We really appreciate it. If you want to follow us on Instagram, see everything that Kevin's working on. We got Instagram and TikTok at Stats Over Politics. Follow us on Twitter at Stats or Politics. If you're listening on the audio-only platforms, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on all podcast platforms. If you're enjoying the show, give us those
Please,
5
appreciate
stars.
you.
We would really appreciate it. And for Jaevon Toddy, Kevin Dent, Garry Singh, I am Shaun Holko. We appreciate you all for tuning in to Stats Over Politics, and we'll catch you all again next week.